Welcome to the Clash Royale Crown Championship Global Series. We are here today and we've got some exciting gameplay for you, the top 8 from Europe. I'm your host Gregan and we have seen these players battle out with over 1 million players, and now they're down to just 8 players, and they've all done so well in our first week. As you can see right here, we have the leaderboard from last weekend. And you've got the top 2 players here who really showed their dominance. Beren also showing a strong performance. But as we go down, we start to see those players who are a little bit worried with their position right now, but hopefully they can move up as the weeks go forward. We're here in the locker room with my 2 co-hosts, Mika and Ash. How are you both doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you guys?
You stole
I'm excited.
my word. I was going to say I'm doing fantastic.
No, that was my line. That was my line.
I'm fantastic as well. I'm fantastic. Well, we're all fantastic right here because we had such strong gameplay last week, and I hope it's going to carry on this week as well.
I'm pretty confident it will with a lineup like this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm especially looking for some of the guys who started out 0-2 to pick it up this week, and
exactly.
I have full faith that they will.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, we got our fill of Nun Sensei last week, and I think today we're going to get our fill of Surgical Goblin.
Yeah, Surgical Goblin.
It's going to be exciting.
Did look strong last week.
DK.
Yeah,
And
DK. So
Ooh,
we
I
spoke
love
about
DK.
DK and
That's my
Nem
boy.
Sensei and how strong we're looking forward to seeing them play. We get to see them at the end of today, Game 8, playing off against each other as the feature match. They're going to be incredibly hyped for that match because they're the two French players. They want to show who is the better French player.
Yeah, they get to fight to see who gets to represent France in Clash Royale.
And it should be an interesting match too, because we saw a lot of Nem Sensei last week. We haven't seen much of Donkey Kong, you know. Nem Sensei obviously starting out 3-1, DK 1-0, but DK, you can only play the matches you have in front of you. So he's perfect in my eyes right now. So him and Surgical Goblin are currently kind of the players to beat, but I'm really, really looking forward to that feature match.
I'm extremely excited for it.
And the advantage we have as the day goes on, we're going to see how Donkey Kong's actually doing. So we'll get more of an idea of how that match is going to go. But we do have lots of other games for you. We have 8, in fact, plus the one which the viewers at home get to vote for. So here you can see them right away. We're going to start off the show with Suarez versus Donkey Kong. Are there any games there that kind of stand out for you guys?
I'm really looking forward to Baron Surgical Goblin, because at the moment, Baron is also at the top with Nem Sensei and Surgical Goblin, and he's a little under Nem Sensei, but it'd be cool to see how he does against Surge.
And the match that's really got my attention is match 2. You know, Adam started out surprisingly 0-2. I want to see if he can bounce back today. Royal, you know, we don't know what he has. 1-1, he lost to Surgical Goblin, but everybody lost to Surgical Goblin, you know? So, those are two guys I really want to see what they bring today. Hopefully both of them bring their A game.
Yeah, I'd also be interested to watch Suarez play. He was very narrowly missing out on wins last week. So perhaps this week with slightly different opponents, he had some tough games.
I really want him to crawl out of the red.
Yeah, he looks strong.
Yeah, and this has been 1 week since the balance changes hit, and this is always interesting, right? When you have a big live competition like this, with all the pressure, all the heat, and balance changes just went into effect. We saw it yesterday, a lot of different decks. The meta is already shifting. I don't see it as a big meta shift, but I see like little changes here and there.
Right.
You know?
Well, I mean, the top 4 popular cards last week that were played, they all changed. They all got nerfed.
Crazy. And Bandit, she's totally
Very
made her way into the
popular now.
fray.
Yeah.
She's a Bandit OP.
I hate to break into you here talking about the cards because it's incredibly
I
interesting.
thought this is what we're doing the whole show.
I mean, we can do, but the viewers at home need to vote
they
for
wanna
that last
actually
game.
see, oh.
You saw at the bottom of the schedule there was 2 question marks. You need to go onto Twitter and vote between 2 different games, and it's DK versus Surgical Goblin and Royal versus Baron. So I'll be interested to see which one of those I want to watch.
I know who I want to vote for.
I mean, I really want to watch Baron loads more, but I also want to see Donkey Kong. There's so many players here who I just want to see them play over and over again.
Exactly.
I know. I don't want to influence the poll at all, but yeah, I think I know what one we might be seeing, but it should be a good matchup either way, though, and we'll see a lot of DK today. I'm really excited to see what he brings.
And he's in studio, so we get to see him walk out and show his charisma.
We get to watch him first game as well. Donkey Kong versus Suarez is going to start off the show today, and I think Suarez started off the show last week, which was pretty tough for him being in studio, starting off the show against Baron, I believe it was. But this week he's got that studio experience up against Donkey Kong coming in. I'm really excited to see how this goes.
As much as I want Donkey Kong to win, I really want to see Suarez climb out of that red.
Is there a romance going on between Baron and Suarez that we don't know about?
Right?
Oh,
So,
no.
fun little fact, they've been going to the gym together. Suarez speaks a bit of German, so they can talk to each other in a language that
amazing.
overlaps. So it's
I know
really
you've
cute.
been
They've got
going
a
to the
lot
gym with Suarez,
Yeah,
too.
they've got a good little friendship going for them.
Wow, that's interesting. But back about
Anyway.
Suarez. Back about Suarez. You know, one thing that really caught my eye about him is both of his losses went to 3 matches last week, right? So it was really anybody's game, and he's a big control player. He brought out P.E.K.K.A. Battle Ram Control 4 out of 6 decks last week.
Exactly,
so we saw yesterday, though, in the NA, that not a lot of P.E.K.K.A., not a lot of Battle Ram, not a lot of control decks. So does Suarez stick with, you know, what he's obviously comfortable with? Or does he switch because he's 0-2, you know?
And we don't really know what Donkey Kong's going to play, but I think we have 2 experts on these guys' play style. I want to hear Trid and Woody. Let's have an interesting game to start off the show.
We can only hope, Greg, and thanks very much for your compliment of us being experts. It's really flattering. But anyway, I'm Trid. Woody's over to the left of me as well. Today, we're going to kick off things off with Suarez versus Donkey Kong. Woody, give me your insight before we get into the game.
Of course, I'm really looking forward to this match because Suarez, at the bottom of the leaderboard, has had a very tough time, but both of his games that he dropped in the first day were 1-2 matches. He's very scrappy, fights to the end, got into that tiebreaker situation, though, and just couldn't barely claim the victory. I think that he's really got a good opportunity here to prove that he's not the number 8 player, not 7, 6, 5. He could be one of the top 2 if he can turn this around and go on a reverse win streak. Let's go to the arena and see if we can see what Suarez is thinking, if he's feeling aggressive, confident, or ready to play. Suarez coming out here right now has got a chance to turn things around. He loves playing heavy beatdown decks like Three Musketeers, Golem, or Graveyard. He doesn't really like going up against Graveyard though, but as a very defensive, patient, slow, control-oriented player, he's really got an opportunity here to go well into the late game to try to get victory against Donkey Kong. Suarez from Spain on the blue team. And on the other side of the arena, Donkey Kong will be coming out. He's 1-0 right now, one of the only 2 undefeated players in the European region, but he only beat Danny, who's currently ranked at the bottom of the leaderboard. He does thrive in the beatdown mirror match, but he doesn't really like going up against Tornado decks. Probably a good thing that Tornado got recently nerfed. He's very patriotic. Maybe that's why he likes the Three Musketeers so much. The Frenchmen will be duking it out against Suarez today.
But yeah, I like to mention that Donkey Kong is one of the only undefeated competitors we have here today. But you've got to bear in mind, he's only played 1 match, right? Only got himself the 1-0 victory. It was against Danny, who's also struggling at the moment to find his footing. Hasn't really had the performance that some people expected. He might be one of the players that we see towards the bottom of the lineup. You know, Suarez is a player, like you said, he's at the bottom. We expect him to climb back up, though. He's shown great potential in week 1. So we expect him to get him out of the red very quickly. But he's not technically 8th. He's technically joint 6th.
Right. He is, you know, at that 6th place spot,
Yeah.
but he did get 2 wins, and both of the other 6th place players didn't get any game wins during their first 2 matches. So he might be at 6th, but I think that he's still got a little bit of an edge above the other 2 players at the bottom of the leaderboard. However, Donkey Kong, he's kind of the mystery player right now. With 0 losses, he actually has a chance to stab up toward the top and get one of those top 2 placements. Suarez fighting for his ability to even break into the bracket, while Donkey Kong is going to be trying to get that preferential seeding with a top 2 placement in phase 3 now. I think that we've really got a great match to start off with the day today.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, Donkey Kong needs to start climbing up there. There are a couple of players already just from, climbing up like a monkey. If you want to do that analogy, that's fine. It's low-hanging fruit for you. But, no. Donkey Kong, he's got to climb up. If you work it out from week 1, there's a couple of players who are guaranteed to be in phase 4. Maybe not with that preferential seeding. But we're going to kick off game 1. Donkey Kong versus Suarez. Kick off week 2 of the European stage, the Crown Championship.
Good luck coming out from both players as they're creeping up toward 10 elixir. We will not have elixir bars on the overlay today, so you can only surmise as to when they've reached 10 and who has the elixir advantage. But Donkey Kong's going to start things off in the back with an ice golem on the left lane.
I tell you what we do have, though. We do have chairs today.
Oh, we have chairs! Boy, howdy. I think we finally saved up the gold to max out our studio. Players looking very comfortable, calm, cool, and collected. A P.E.K.K.A. from Suarez, so you can see that P.E.K.K.A. Battle Ram deck didn't get a lot of play yesterday in the North American
This
region, but
graveyard
was
being
very
dropped
popular
straight
in
away, though, to
Europe.
kick things off.
Yeah, very aggressive play here by Donkey Kong. Ice Golem out in front to try to distract that tower, but the defensive P.E.K.K.A. soaking a lot of shots from the skeletons there, while Baby Dragon burps him down is going to work quite well. It's actually the Executioner who's made the huge connection over here for Donkey Kong, chopping away at that tower while the Baby Dragon and P.E.K.K.A. were distracted, bringing it almost down to half hit points at 1347. Suarez going in for the counterattack now. Baby Dragon able to take care of that Dark Goblin without much trouble.
Yeah, there's Battle Ram on the right-hand side, but guess what? Donkey Kong's still running that Tornado, and the Execution had a perfect angle to get the damage that he needed onto that tower whilst also focusing P.E.K.K.A. Battle Ram will get shut down by Night Witch because that melee range is so strong as the Bandit dives in, but will just get deleted by Night Witch's melee and the bats are there. And hopefully,
it's a graveyard as well from Donkey Kong. Huge attack coming over here on the left side. Splash damage from the Baby Dragon. A little bit too slow to take down the Night Witch. Skeletons are stacking up, and this tower is going down. Suarez shrugs it off, though. He's got another minute and 20 to put this thing into overtime. A little bit of chip damage at the right side, but Suarez is not going to be feeling very well after that big hit from Donkey Kong on the right.
No, not at all. And if you were looking at the player clam, you could see Suarez realize what was happening, and you just go, you saw him almost concede once he realized he just cannot defend that tower anymore. Look at this May as he just went by, and he's in a really bad spot here. half health on his left tower, no tower on his right, and he's only made a slight dent into Donkey Kong's tower. So he's going to run the battle ramp up, does get cut short.
Can't quite make it there.
Baby Dragon's working on the bandit on the left-hand side. Meanwhile, another Baby Dragon being dropped before Suarez on the right-hand side, trying to turn this, but Graveyard on the left-hand side.
Ice Golem distracting for the tower and the Dark Goblin. Big hit on the left now from Donkey Kong, about to get the second tower. If he can just get the connection over here. Nice zap though from Suarez. Will keep it up, but down to triple digits already. Donkey Kong has made a huge offensive impact on both the right and the left side. Suarez making his best efforts to hit this right side tower, but distracting this bandit with an execution in the center. He's just got so much splash damage to deal with. Donkey Kong with very versatile troops is going back on the counterattack now. Ice Golem in the graveyard at the left side tower.
Dark Goblin doing what he can to try and clear out. Poison is there. Will take out the Dark Goblin as well. So and he get the 2 crowd. They're so close. One more tick. 2 more ticks.
There he goes! Donkey Kong with the 2-0 victory in this first game. Gives his opponent the respect he deserves, but really proves that that 1-0 and his undefeated run was no fluke last week. He is going to be going back at it hard in the arena.
To a degree, yes. You got to remember, both his opponents are sat joint 6th place. So I want to try and reiterate, yes, Donkey Kong has won that first game. Great, excellent showing from him to get those 2 crowns to begin with. But is it going to be a case of, is this proving Donkey Kong is a superior player, or is it just confirming people's doubts about Suarez?
That's a really good question. It can really only be answered by seeing more gameplay, but my first look at this matchup makes me really believe that Donkey Kong is probably going to be one of the dominating forces here in this region. And it's fair to say that because even though these opponents are at the bottom of the leaderboard, sitting there at number 6, they are still some of the best 8 in the entire continent. I've got a lot of faith in Donkey Kong that he will be able to hold on to this win streak and remain undefeated through this match.
Yeah. And we're going to have a replay quickly. It's going to be Graveyard Night Witch, the first tower that Donkey Kong did take. And unfortunately, we don't have the player cam, because I love that aspect of it. But you can see Bandit goes in, Night Witch just deletes him. You got the Golem and the Night Witch push still going on strong. Graveyard comes out behind, and the Baby Dragon's doing what he can to work on Night Witch, but nothing is soaking up these skeletons from the graveyard. The zap comes out, but it's basically trying to slap, you know, a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. It's not going to do much.
Not a whole lot at all. Donkey Kong with that really early pressure out on the left lane, continued that line of attack out the right. P.E.K.K.A. was a really expensive defensive move by Suarez to try to gain some momentum on the left, but he never really committed to that counterattack. Tornado pulling all those troops in so the Baby Dragon could finish off the little back-end support Dark Goblin. You didn't really have to worry about the left side attack, and with a big elixir advantage, pressured that right side hard, got it down first, and then went in for the 2-punch. Right side, left side, finished him off.
Yeah, and I think Graveyard wasn't really the most damaging card he had in that deck. It was great as a distraction tool, but we're talking about on the first push he made on the left-hand side, we had the defensive P.E.K.K.A. You already touched on it briefly, but the Executioner got the perfect angle to clip both P.E.K.K.A. and Tower, whilst P.E.K.K.A. was trying to deal with the skeletons. And Big Mama P.E.K.K.A., she can only hit one at a time, and if you've got a swarm, that's when you start to come into difficulty. So it's really nice placement by Donkey Kong there. I don't know 100% if the Executioner angle was intended, but it's a happy coincidence if it wasn't.
Indeed. Suarez told us before this match that he really doesn't like going up against Tornado. There was so much value from getting Tornado Executioner combo. He didn't even need to use the Tornado there to get that Executioner locked straight onto the troop in the line of sight of the tower as well. So much splash damage from that one unit, and great offensive play by Donkey Kong, supporting that push very well. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're able to pull out in Game 2. You think they're going to switch up their decks?
I think we might see a switch up in decks, but one of the things I want to touch on quickly is we talked about Tornado was one of these cards that had superior usage, got nerfed week 2. Donkey Kong still got the confidence to run that going into week 2. So we might see that come out in more of his decks. It might be a pattern we see continue with our EU competitors and see if there's a little bit of variation, because we know the tweaks that already happened from NA from week 1 to week 2. But EU, I feel like, might have some different adaptations to make. Because you've got to think about one of the most played cards in NA over this past week was Ice Spirit. No Ice Spirit in EU so far. We've got more games to get through, but will we see similar adaptations to the same problem?
That's a good question. Ice Spirit does work really well in those cycly type decks, but 2 really heavy beatdown decks set up by our first 2 duelers in the arena today. Let's see if they repeat that for the second game. And, oh, there you call it, man.
Double Ice Spirit.
Here we go. It's going to be a little snowball fight in the arena, it seems, as they're both picking decks that have got Cycle in there, but looks like Donkey Kong actually has got a really heavy 3 Musketeer deck that he's going to be playing. Oh, can't get the Ice Spirit to splash onto these Goblins. Going to take a few stabs over there on the left. Not too much to worry about, though.
So Princess going to be on the right-hand side. I like that he's throwing in Bandit with the recent buffs into his 3 Musketeer deck. Got the Dark Goblin as well, and Ice Spirit is there, but Donkey Kong, he carried himself through qualifiers with the 3 Musketeer deck. So you know this is something he can play quite proficiently. Dark Goblin got a lot of value out there, taking out most of the Goblin gang, not entirely. And there's a nice window here for Donkey Kong to put down his Elixir Collector. Immediately gets rocketed by Suarez, causing a huge Elixir expenditure on his behalf.
Good hits in here from Suarez as we start things off. Yeah, 6-for-6 trade with the rocket onto the pump is definitely a good tech option for Suarez. When you play a really swarmy type, quick attack deck like we see here with the log bait with a knight as the tank, you're really got to have something big and beefy out on the back end to deal with pumps, 3 Musketeers, any big clumps of units, or anything that can give your opponent an elixir advantage.
Well, Princess has been dropped on the right-hand side. We'll get some value from the AoE, but will she stop just short of the Musketeer range? I think she will, but she'll draw aggro eventually.
On the left.
Nice Inferno Tower to draw that battle ram over.
Yes,
Log as well for the follow-up. Ice Spirit should stall these Barbarians for the cleanup, but the Muskies,
2 Muskies right side.
railing!
Lock on, they get 900 damage total. It's kind of a bad setup on defense for Suarez, though. Playing Inferno Tower really does not like going up against the Battle Ram, which hits quick and then gets 2 decently medium-sized bodies right on top of the tower to block blows. It was actually really good timing for Suarez there. He caught the Musketeer with that Inferno Tower, neutralized that left side attack by taking a lot of damage out on the right. Donkey Kong now has the lead. And remember, you can get damage on both towers all you want, Suarez, but Donkey Kong drilling in on that right side will have the advantage if he can get that thing down if this is just a 1-0 game.
Well, Bandit's going to be answered quite nicely by Goblin Gang there. Nice drop in the center to draw the aggro from the tower itself. Princess running down on the left-hand side, so won't get the AoE bonus, but does have the range of being able to do it. But Battle Ram 2 Muskies on the right-hand side, going aggressive there, but a lot of commitment on the left by Suarez. The Inferno Tower is dropped to draw the Battle Ram. Log comes out.
Good log.
Will set.
Nicely timed zap by Donkey Kong. He's going to get the Musketeers a little bit closer. Knight catches them, though, and it looks like Suarez will pull off the defense there. Even has a Princess over on the left to show for his efforts.
Yeah, Bandit darts across into the Goblin Gang
Oh my
again.
God, this right side
Wait,
connection's
what?
hitting so hard. Goblin Barrel out on the right side, soaked a lot of that damage as the right side push drills it down to 1376. Good connection in the back. Donkey Kong couldn't get those Goblins down just in time. And now Suarez pushes ahead in damage overall. Can he keep these big attacks off his tower? Split attack coming in on the left side gets rocketed down, and that Battle Ram's not going anywhere. Princess at the back is getting a ton of value, though, just splashing. She's been up there for so long, no log in Donkey Kong's deck to deal with her in the back.
But look what Suarez has done. He's managed to get so much value out of that Princess by putting the units in front and drawing aggro. The Bandit couldn't get to her. Musketeers had to wait ages to switch focus. One thing to point out as well, Suarez had to use his rocket on double Muskie.
That's
so
right.
Now Donkey Kong is the first time he's getting value out of his elixir.
Oh no, this Inferno Tower's a little bit too close. Troops take it out very quickly. Right side Musketeers are not going to be able to get the connection in, but the left side push is where it's at. Donkey Kong with Goblins
Bandit
and
on the right.
Yep, Goblins, Musketeer, but Bandit on the right. Connects to the tower, the dash is good. A defensive Goblin Barrel, what is that? What are you doing, Suarez? Down to 614 now. Donkey Kong is going to push that damage advantage.
Yeah, he's sending the 2 Muskies onto the right, so he's favoring this right-hand side with the split, giving more impact, but sends the Battle Ram as its insurance measure with an Ice Spirit as well. Goblin Gang, they played
Ice
a
Spirit
bridge.
lost on the left side. Musketeers now locked onto the Knight, trying to take him down as quickly as possible. Only a few hit points left for him before he locks the tower. No, she's going to actually shoot down a Princess as well. Interesting defensive choice there by Suarez, but it looks like the big play on the right. There it is.
My God.
The Bandit dashes in. Goblin Gang coming down too late for Suarez, and that's a 1-0 victory for Donkey Kong, a 2-0 for this matchup overall.
Fantastic scenes from Donkey Kong there. I love the interaction with Bandit and Princess because the dash was channeling up. Princess has that travel time with her AoE damage. All of a sudden, Bandit dashes out of where she was a second ago, completely avoids all damage, instantly takes out the Princess, then dashes straight for the tower for the 100 damage left. And Donkey Kong with the chest beating there. We had a couple of we had a couple of helpers just in rehearsals helping us out with what the characters might do, and he did the chest beating. I thought he's not really going to do that. And then Donkey Kong turns up on stage, brings the little bit of let's say charm, shall we say, or a little bit of theatricality.
Yeah. Yeah, like Gaston up there, just triumphant, hands in the air. He will remain undefeated now, 2-0, and is moving up to the top to join Surgical Goblin. Donkey Kong is a force to be reckoned with in this round robin. He's actually got a really good chance to make the top 2 and get preferential seating in the bracket.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, his climb is just continuing. We're going to have to wait. And like I said, there's still question marks about it. I still have to reserve my putting my chips in the Donkey Kong basket just yet, because he's only gone up against players in the lower half of the bracket.
Right.
I need to see him take down people like Royal, like Baron, Nem Sensei. If he can get a win on Surgical Goblin, then I will jump on the Donkey Kong hype train. But I am still going to reserve judgment just for now. But
well, that is one of our featured matchups. We could potentially see that match at the very end. If you want to vote for Donkey Kong and Surgical Goblin, I guess you got a chance maybe during one of the intermissions to go over on Twitter. But with that, I guess we got to send it back to our friends over on the couch, see what they think of the match.
We have such good style in our French players. The chest bump from Donkey Kong
So good.
on the win. So there we go. Donkey Kong proving that he can win still. Like we had question marks, but now he's 2-0.
And we saw the card changes come into play for him because he used Bandit, and Bandit really helped him out there.
Really
Yeah,
effective.
folks at home, if you want to get a good sense of where the meta is going, especially Three Musketeers, that would be a great deck to copy Donkey Kong. And Donkey Kong, he just played flawlessly there. I'll tell you what, I think he is one of the best players. I believe in the Kong, honestly. And one thing you note about him is, especially in that second match, is being a good Three Musketeer player as he is, he was always smart about attacking both of the lanes. You can see the finish here where the Bandit actually makes contact for the first time, actually.
So
right?
good, yeah.
But he applied pressure to both lanes. He knew his opponent had the rockets, so he never wanted to provide too much value. So he always split two Musketeers one way, battle ram with a solo Musketeer. And he just was consistent with the pressure, pumping up when he could, when he knew the rocket was out of cycle, and just a tremendous player there, really smart.
I really enjoyed how he used Bandit, because Bandit is a tough card to play. People see these guys with the dashing. It's so hard to get it in range of a dash of the thing you want to hit.
Time it perfectly, too.
You noticed how he switched lanes with Bandit quite a lot. Sent Bandit down the other lane when there was nothing there, when Suarez was low on Elixir, and it allowed that Bandit to get through. And if they place anything, the Bandit's going to dash and hit that. So that's the way to get the most value out of the Bandit, is put it in space, and it will find its targets.
Yeah, it was either taking out princesses or it was going for those towers, and it was a pretty perfect play for a Bandit.
Yeah, and we did see the balance changes come into play a lot. I mean, in the first match, I thought it was interesting that both players used Skeletons instead of Ice Spirit. Second match, they both switched to Ice Spirit. Now, I do think the Skeletons are still viable in the game. Think about it, right? Donkey Kong was playing Skeletons against, or actually vice versa, Suarez was playing Skeletons against Splash Yard, against Graveyard. The Skeletons are better than Ice Spirit in a lot of ways. And Skeletons are better than Ice Spirit against P.E.K.K.A. Control too, against the P.E.K.K.A. Sure. So I think that even though it was kind of surprising, that nerf to Skeletons, I think it's made way for other cards. Same thing with Goblin Gang. We saw Goblins instead of Goblin Gang by Donkey Kong.
I mean, those Skeletons will still get used, but I want to have a look at the scoreboard now and see what that puts Donkey Kong, because he's going to be right up there at the top. So you can see right now he's in the green alongside, well, Surgical Goblin, Nem Sensei, and Donkey Kong all have a 2-game win ratio. So they're all going to be joint at the top. But unfortunately, Suarez now not looking too good at the bottom. It's going to be a very tough climb out of that 3-loss deficit.
I believe in him. I think he can do it.
Yeah, I think that Suarez, he's in a really tough spot right now. I'm not sure if he can dig his way out, but I mean, he only needs a win or two. You know, he needs to be in the blue. He just needs to get out of those last 2 spots.
Even if he's in the 6th place, that 4th blue spot, I think he could do that.
I think if Adam wins this next match, it will be bad for Suarez, right? But if he loses, then there's 3 players without a win, so it's really anybody's, shot to get into that blue there in that last spot, especially.
Did hint it just then. Adam is going to be playing next against Royal, and I'm pretty excited to see these guys.
Should be a good
Royal and Adam are both question marks at the moment, aren't they? Because they're talented players coming into this. We expected good performances from them, and they didn't quite hit the level we were expecting. So it'll be interesting to see whether they step it up now.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting match to watch. I think it's going to put one of them definitely in the lead above the other.
Yeah, I feel like my money is still on Adam here, even though the Royals are a really good player. But Adam is Alan. Who's Alan?
Alan.
Adam is.
Alan.
He was pretty frustrated with himself. I talked to him after week 1, and I think he's going to come back. And I think the community's all got his back. He's one of the most beloved players in the entire game.
Yes.
So I'm pulling for Adam hard here, but Royal's certainly a really strong competitor as well.
For the sake of the viewers, I really hope Adam steps up, because when he plays well, he's really strong. But I'm going to have to cut it.
One last thing.
No, okay.
It was
quick,
really
quick.
good, but I can't say it.
Right. let's just
You'll get
pretend
your turn
nothing
now.
happened just then, because I
I'll
want
just
to
run over to the caster booth.
Trid and Woody, I've got so much to say, and I want to hear what they want to see from Adam and Royal right now.
Sorry, guys.
Thanks very much, Greg. And yeah, Adam versus Royal is going to be our second matchup of the day. Adam, currently 0-2 at the moment, needs that first win on the board. And Royal, he's only got his first victory from Danny, who's also faltering a little bit as well. So still, can Adam get the victory, climb above Royal, get himself in a nice spot?
Well, let's introduce our two players here. Adam, as you said, is 0-2, but he lost to top-ranked players and was considered to have underperformed the first week. He really does love offensive, quick, sneaky attacks, and he might get the edge against Royal if he's able to, pull one over his eyes, if you will. He loves Hog Rider, the Bowler Graveyard, and Log Bait type decks. If he can strike first and claim a quick victory before he gets overwhelmed by the big beatdown decks that Royal likes to play, he's got a good chance of climbing back up on the leaderboard, trying to get his first match win. And of course, Royal, the pride of Romania, only lost on day 1 to Surgical Goblin, so he was a day 7 qualifier. He was a little bit nervous that he wasn't even going to make it here today, but he's a very powerful player. Lost to Donkey Kong and Suarez in phase 2. But, I think that with that one win on the board, he has got a lot to prove to try to stay in that middle 4. Not really trying to make the top 2 stab, it seems right now, but trying to stay out of the bottom 2 so that he can at least qualify for the bracket.
Yeah, and if you're going to lose to anyone, you're going to get your only loss. It may as well be to Surgical Goblin, right? Who's being touted as the top player at the moment. But Ice Spirit and Elixir, so
hang on,
a double mirror matchup there.
Are we looking at 2 players here, or is it just a mirror set up in the center of the arena? I can't quite tell. We've got 2 pumps and each player with an Ice Spirit.
It's not, because the Elixir collector's on the opposite sides.
Oh, yes, I see. Oh, good observation there. And I think the top player is red, while Adam on the bottom is blue.
Yeah, thanks for that one, Woody.
Yeah, I have great observational powers. That's why I'm one of the commentators here.
Fantastic.
As you well know.
Fantastic deduction.
Left side attack has got an Ice Golem to soak for this Night Witch. Great bandit dash in there, but none of those troops on the bottom floor able to hit that Baby Dragon up top. Looks like it'll be able to finish off this Night Witch and go in for the counterattack now. Is it going to get frozen by the Ice Spirit in range? Yep, the tower's going to start ticking away. Royal pumping up again, as will Adam. I bet they're both playing really heavy decks. Probably either, what do you think, 3 Musketeers or maybe Golem?
I'm thinking one of them. Actually, I will go for both of them using beatdown in this situation.
Oh,
and Royal
going
to be dropping that Golem, just kick things off. And 3 Muskies from Adam. So you were right on both accounts there, Woody. 1 Golem, 1 free Muskie.
Oh my God! A 6 for 9 trade in Royal's favor. Hits the tower with the rocket and kills all 3 of those Musketeers. Athos, Porthos, and Aramis rolling in their graves. So sad to see that big hit. A Night Witch going to support this Golem at the right side, but it's going to be an avalanche of rocks. Doesn't even look like it's going to reach the tower. Actually, I take it back. It's 1 hit and some death damage over on the right side.
Bandit's been drawn back to the bridge, though. Oh, finally. Bandit got drawn back to the bridge. Had some time away from the Golem, dashed back. One of the benefits of having a legendary like Bandit in your deck, but the Baby Dragon's still unanswered and will get lots more damage after this push is already
down
concluded.
To 11-13. Royal with an early win at that right side. It didn't quite get the tower down, but with rocket damage as well on the left, he's probably got one of the beefiest, heaviest, most expensive decks in the game. Look at this, Golem and Rocket. And a left side rocket as well. Catches the Battle Ram and both Musketeers. Perfect aim from Royal there. Goblins are going to come in to distract the Barbarians. Looks like he's taking a little bit of damage, but that Musketeer pulled right into tower range on the right side. Golem didn't take very much damage at all. Night Witch and Baby Dragon to support. This is another monumental, huge push for Royal. 3 Musketeers on defense is a great option.
But the rocket comes out again!
Oh my God, right in the center. Catches all 3 of them. The rocket aiming from Royal is absolutely perfect. Give that man a promotion. Whoever is working on nuclear missile launches has got that aim down pat.
But this is one thing we haven't talked about. Adam knows that Royal has the rocket. He keeps putting his muskies together in the same lane and not splitting them. He's asking for that -3 elixir
lots
trade.
of damage on the left side. Does manage to get the bandit down, but the battle ram's about to connect.
Oh,
Defensive goblins over on the left side. Oh, you got to get these barbarians
He's
down
gonna clear
though.
it. He's got control of this.
I think he's got it.
But the Golem's still unanswered on the right-hand side for Adam. That's going to make connection and start chipping away. Royal's going to take this game.
Oh, boom. No way to get it off. Look at that rocket coming on in. Oh my God, the siege tech from Royal there, absolutely flawless. You had to imagine he must have been hovering that rocket over his opponent's side of the arena, just ready to drop it at the instant he saw 3 Muskies going down.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I say. Like, Adam, I can respect you getting caught out once by the rocket. You don't necessarily know the opponent opponent's deck. Fair enough, you put 3 Muskies in a lane, Rocket comes down, clears it out. Okay, I've just lost a free Elixir trade there. I'm not going to do that again. Splits the Muskies next time. Fantastic. Exactly what you need to do. Drawed it. He had 1 Muskie spare, because obviously he's going to focus the one with the Battle Ram. Then next thing you know, he's putting Muskies together again.
I think that the mistake there was adding the Battle Ram onto the side with the 2 Musketeers. Gave a really great target for the Rocket there. Goblins actually at the 2 Elixir slot, they were performing very well against Battle Ram, taking it out and then distracting the Barbarians just long enough for the tower to be able to finish him off. It seemed like in every instance, the super heavy Golem beatdown deck was actually performing very well against 3 Musketeers. And this is something that like really needs to go, you know, explicitly said, 3 Musketeers works very well against other beatdown decks. The fact that Golem was able to beat it by using that 1 tech card there, the Rocket, to take out that big DPS clump that Adam was able to set up. I mean, Royal just played that perfectly.
Yeah, the Pocket Rocket comes out for the victory yet again. So Knight to kick things off here, game 2. Giant immediately going to be dropped here as they answer to build up a push on the left-hand side for Royal. But I feel like last game, Adam was trapped in a little bit of a dilemma there. He was losing the push if he matched it, and he went for the Hail Mary play of just trying to outpush on the opposite lane. Answered, and then he had no answer for the golem, so just slaps it down. But Graveyard of Golem!
Aggressive from Royal. I'm not sure about this, man. Adam's got a Baby Dragon and a Bowler set up on defense. The Giant is soaking damage, and actually, it looks like those Skeletons had a pretty good spawn for Royal. Yeah, you can never really tell exactly where they're going to spawn, but he got a nice surround of that tower. Bowler and Baby Dragon had a little bit of difficulty taking it down after the Baby Dragon, I think, locked on to the Giant first, and then the Electro was, wow, Fireball. And the naked Graveyard, really unfortunate for Adam, was relying upon that counterattack with the
Night Witch has got
the Bowler and the Night Witch. But yeah, I mean the Bowler and the Baby Dragon, yeah, but Night Witch has easy. Only takes a stab or 2 at that left side from the Skeletons.
And it's just the Bats as well. The Bats are superior to the Skellies because they can hit the Skellies, Skellies can't hit the Bats. That's simple.
It's so unfair.
Yeah, it's unfair, but it's perfect because he's able to deal with the Graveyard, then put it up behind a Giant for a counter push. Fortunately, Tornado comes down again to bring him in for Baby Dragon to clean up quite nicely.
Yeah, it looks like Royal couldn't commit the Graveyard to that push. A little bit more worried about defense now, it seems. Ewiz is going to get the job done. Works very well against these kind of small to mid-sized clumps of troops, slowing things down. Might need a little bit more on the back end to keep this Mega Minion off. Nope, Royal's going to soak the damage.
Yeah, there'll be quite a few ticks of damage down. I reckon he'll get comparable damage on the left-hand side to Adam. So 200 advantage, roughly about 150 advantage he's got at the moment on HP on the left-hand side. Preemptive log, or is that just a cycle?
It looks like cycle, yeah. Royal reached, I think, 10 Elixir and just had nothing else to play. Got rid of the log. Yeah. You don't really need a log against a big, heavy beatdown deck like the one that Adam's playing. Night Witch out the right side, though. I think that might have been a misplay. Why would he switch lanes? That left side's already really far down. Is he really trying to go for the 2-0 in this?
Well, I think because he's pulling out Graveyard. He knows Bowl's on the left-hand side. He's not going to be able to deal with this Graveyard. Tornado seems to be a pretty good answer, though, as they're all being dragged together, but the chip damage is still coming in.
Look at the Skeleton
in the back right corner is
ignored by the Mega Minion, and the Baby Dragon gets another slap over there with the Fireball, not able to finish off those right side attacking troops, but not too much to worry about at the right lane. Royal's going to defend on this left side. Graveyard coming down, but Skeletons to catch a few of them. Poison added on top for the blue player to wait. No, that's a blue player. Yeah. Blue player poison. Offensive. 6:25 left for Royal. He's actually got to get that right side tower down though. Can he finish this off real quick? He is on the left.
Giant's going to soak up the Mega Minion. Drops another Graveyard on the left-hand side. Where's the answer to this? It's Night Witch again.
Fireball and Log is enough on the right.
Yeah,
he's going to commit the spells on the right side, defending just with that Night Witch. Skeletons on the top aren't enough to finish it off. Adam cannot seal the deal. Drops that right side tower and doesn't finish off Royals. Royal claims the 1-0 victory in that game, and it's another 2-0 set win.
So Royal taking down Adam. Adam now goes 0-3 in group stages so far. The renaissance of Adam is delayed for another game.
It breaks my heart, but Adam and Suarez, both at the bottom of the leaderboard, are going to stay there for now. It's going to be a tough battle climbing out from the bottom with an 0-3 beginning to your phase 3 setup here, but Adam and Suarez have both fought really hard. I think that they just need a little bit of deck tweaks, a little bit of creativity there. They're playing very consistent, reliable, familiar, like metagame decks, we call them. But yeah, unable to pull the win out there. I guess that it's just going to be Royal taking it.
Yeah, Royal taking it, and now what you got to remember is Danny is now clearly 6th by himself, because now Suarez and Adam are now joint 7th. They've both got an extra loss under their belt. So Danny sat comfortably in blue right now. He's got a couple more matches coming up. So are Suarez. So is Adam. They got a couple more matches this week, next week. They can climb back into the blue and get them in there. But
Yeah.
Suarez and Adam in a pretty poor situation right now, going 0-3. They've got a lot of work to do to get themselves back into blue, and the odds are stacked against them. They're nearly halfway through their scheduled total matches.
Well, I guess we got to call him Roya now because Adam just took the L. Let's send it back to the couch and see what they think of the match.
So I heard you two referencing where players are, and you'll see at the bottom, this is the interesting bit right now. Because like you said, Danny is now in a solid 6th place with that 0-2, but Adam and Suarez are dead bottom, and it must be so tough for them to think how they're going to come out of it. But these 3 players have yet to face each other, so when they start facing off, we'll start to see wins come in and players moving up. But that does put Royal 2-1, which is a pretty strong position for him. He definitely looked quite strong there. But this is the standings right now, and I'm excited to see how that changes as the tournament goes on. But all these guys are competing for a share of a $1 million prize pool, which is pretty exciting. And this is the share for the European top 8, 15,000 for the top. And as you can see there, it goes gradually less and less as you go down from 1st through to 8th. And we've got a player who's pretty excited about this prize pool, and that's Surgical Goblin. How are you doing?
Hey man, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Oh, it's nice when people come here and they ask it back. And you saw that prize pool just there.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that? Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm definitely really excited, and I hope to claim the victory.
Pretty confident with that? You played very well in the first week. You had your first game, your second game against Nem Sensei. How did that feel?
Yeah, winning versus Nem Sensei felt amazing, just because he's one of the best players in the world. I actually faced him before in a live event, which was ESWC Winter.
We actually have a banner up there from all the winners of big competitions. February that was in.
Yeah.
So that was quite recent.
Yeah, I managed to win back then, but really close, 3-2. And winning now again is just, amazing. Definitely really happy.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Serge, first of all, awesome finally meeting you. It feels like I kind of watched you grow up Clash Royale before our very eyes. We go way back. I want to know, just taking a step back, you went from someone who, you always kind of had a little bit of a name in the community, but then you blew up and you became super popular. I want to know any advice to people out there who want to participate in tournaments like this, want to get a name for themselves in the esports, ecosystem in Clash Royale. Any advice to people, like how should they get noticed? It's hard, right?
I would suggest try to qualify for live events. There are lots of live events, especially right now in the summer. For example, in Spain, there are multiple live events. So I would say try to qualify and try to get your name up there. And otherwise, maybe online tournaments. So from home, just playing in leagues, and let's say you perform really well, I think they will notice you and your name will get remembered and known.
Yeah, and another question too is that I know that I talked to Mythja last week, right? And he said that you guys work together. You especially put in so much preparation for this tournament. He said that like up to 2 months ago, he would, you were on voice call every day. All of a sudden, Surgical Goblin's MIA because he's there practicing every single. Tell us a little bit about some of the preparation that you put into this, and how do you try to alter your game plan depending on the opponent?
I try to sometimes study my opponent. So for example, Royal, I knew that he liked beatdown decks. So my deck pick was based on that. So I decided to run a P.E.K.K.A deck, which is good versus beatdown. So I try to study my opponents. I also try to be versatile with my deck picks. And I often also actually practice with Japanese clans, which is really interesting because their scene, their competitive scene is totally different than the scene we know. So it's actually really inspiring as well.
Nice. That will come in handy in Worlds if you make it there, right?
Oh, yeah. So I know Nem Sensei is like your equal almost in this tournament. Who else are you excited to go against?
I think Baron, the match of today, will be really interesting because...
That's the one I'm excited for.
First I didn't know him, but after last week, his performance is actually, it should be really interesting.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
And I have a really important question. Does your heart rate ever go above 90? You're like so cool, calm.
You always seem just so calm when you're placing cards.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I'm nervous, but because of the experience I have, I think
You're prepared.
Yeah, kind of get used to it, and indeed, I prepared. So.
Yeah.
I mean, me watching it, it's intimidating to just see how calm and collected you are, just placing cards down, even when you have a huge rush coming towards you. I can't imagine being on the receiving end of that as like a player you're
Patience
playing against.
is really key. So.
Yeah.
Last question from you, Serge, is you are known also for playing mind games with your opponent, right? So tell us a little bit about, any tricks you have up your sleeve that you can share just with us here. Or maybe an example from last week of you, playing a little mental strategy involved.
Yeah, for example, last week versus Royal, I actually faced him before in live events as well. And we both know that we are versatile as players. So I actually decided to run the same deck, so the P.E.K.K.A deck twice, thinking that he would, think that I would switch. So that's, I guess, mind games.
I like that, exactly.
And I actually talked to him after the match, and he said to me that he thought that I would switch. So the mind games worked.
Perfect.
The double bluff right there. So I'm going to ask you one last thing. So you've got two potential opponents today, definitely Baron, and Donkey Kong is one of the fan-voted matchups. Those two are going to be playing against each other. Who do you think is going to win out of that? They're going to be up next, so we're going to see it right now. Who do you think is going to win between those two?
I'm not sure about that, just because they're both really solid. So I think it's definitely matchup dependent as well. Like whoever has the better matchup. But I don't think I have any favorable.
So you think it's going to be a close game?
Yeah.
So
I think
anyone watching right now has got to be excited for that, because Surgical Goblin, who studies these players, knows them inside out, reckons this is going to be a close one. So I'm pretty excited for that. I want to say thank you, Serge, for coming on and
Happy to
chatting
be
with
here.
us.
Yeah, it was great to meet you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Serge.
And good luck with your games.
Thanks.
So we're going to go over to the casters now for this next game. So it's Baron versus Donkey Kong. Excited to see this one.
So am I, Woody. So am I, Greg, and so am I. So I got Woody on the mind, apparently. But no, it's going to be really interesting to see this matchup, because this will be the first real test that these guys have had, in my opinion. You've got, like we talked about earlier, Donkey Kong's matches hasn't really had the toughest of opponents so far, and the people Baron have got victories over, talking about Adam and Danny. So they're not really the high contenders either at the moment. These guys are both pushing for top spots right now. Donkey Kong, he can go 3-0 if he wins this, matching Nem Sensei's record before he ran into Surge. Or, alternatively, Baron can go 3-1 and match Nem Sensei's record just in general.
That's right. I think Baron actually got the win against Adam and Suarez, dropped to Nem Sensei, but he's actually one of the only 3 players in the leaderboard right now who has had a 1-2 or a 2-1 match tie overall. Very scrappy player, doesn't always get the win, but he's always fighting very hard. With the 2-1 record, though, right now, he actually does vie for that top 2 placement for preferential seeding into the bracket. But so does Donkey Kong. 2-0, he's one of the only 2 undefeated players. This should be an all-star matchup. As we head into the arena now, we're going to have Baron coming out first. Of course, he's got that solid ranking. He really loves to play Hog, Lightning, and really loves the Minor card as well. He played Hog and 3 Musketeers on day 1. Let's see if he can keep the momentum up and try to make a stab toward the top. Only 1 loss with 2 wins. Can he get a third? Baron from Germany. And on the opposite side of the arena, Donkey Kong, hot off of his win in match 1, is going to be taking another chance here to get another win and remain undefeated, looking for top 2 placement. He doesn't really like going up against opponents who use Tornado, but he seemed to manage to deal with it pretty well earlier. He's great at the beatdown mirror match, so if Baron does wind up playing something heavier, he should be pretty happy to go deep into overtime. Struggling to get the win, but always seeming to edge out his opponents. Donkey Kong, going beast mode. Will he be able to do it again?
Well, that's the thing we've got to look out for here. And what I liked about these 2 players is they have a stylistic difference. What you find from Baron is quite defensive in his playstyle, I find sometimes. Whereas Donkey Kong's always up running 3 muskies or beatdown. He's going aggro. He's putting on the pressure all the time. So can Baron find the greatest possible defense to deal with Donkey Kong and have a great counter and push? Or will he just be overwhelmed by the Kong?
I think he just might be. I gotta give Donkey Kong the edge in this one. I feel like it might be a 2-1. Many of Baron's matches have been so far, but Donkey Kong, with very strategic and creative deck choices, I think he is really one of the players in the bracket that lines up against who he's going against, studies them, prepares very well, and also, like Surgical just mentioned, gets ready for each and every individual matchup. Doesn't just bring, a generic deck and is ready to go, whoever is coming at him. He actually really prepares for each and every single one. I got to give the edge to Donkey Kong here.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think Donkey Kong has shown me, I think, that he's going to be one of the people who is going to rise up through and not be rising off of victories against, I'm going to be frank, lesser opponents, shall we say, for the time being anyway. He's got his victories from these bottom half of the bracket. Going up against someone like Baron right now, who's had a similar boat. If he can beat Baron, he puts himself a cut above people who are just getting these free wins, so to say.
Right.
The real test, like I said, comes with Surge, but this means a lot for the group stage because, like I said, it sets records. It makes you in the green zone indefinitely. This victory will put them in the green, at least for now. The rest of the broadcast will play out, the rest of the tournament day will play out, but it sets them in the right foot and gets them in the winner's mentality. Imagine going down the rest of the day going, right, I'm in the green, I've got myself secured now, I can do it, let's maintain. It's not a climb anymore for them.
Right. It's all about proving what you've already been able to do very well. Just got to keep up that momentum. Baron and Donkey Kong have both gone up against Suarez, but Donkey Kong with the 2-0 win in that matchup has shown a little bit more of an edge, of an advantage. Of course, we know Baron got the 2-1 there. You were talking a little bit about placement and ranking, and you got to remember, it's not just the match wins. Getting a 2-0 is a little bit better than getting a 2-1 because the game wins and the game losses overall will be used as a tiebreaker if it's necessary to try to differentiate in between the leaderboard. If there's two players who are tied in overall match wins, we really got to drill down deep and see who got those decisive, excellent victories and who was just, barely able to edge out their opponent.
But I think it also comes down to the style of decks you're running as well. Some decks you're more likely to go for these bigger, more intensive crown victories than solo decks. If you're running something like a siege deck, you're running something that's very defensive, you only get a chance to probably only get one crown out of that.
That's fair, but I was talking about the match overall, a 2-1 match, not a 2-1 crown.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I think crowns actually do come down into the side.
Do they really?
Yeah, there's like different stages depending on how deep they need to go, like how matched they are.
I think I recommended that at some point, but by my last reading of the rules, I don't quite remember if crowns were different. Maybe they are, though.
Maybe we're talking. It goes really deep until crowns.
Really deep.
Yeah,
okay.
Until crowns become a factor.
Interesting. All right. Well, we only have a couple more days, I guess, counting this one for stage 3. Placement in the leaderboard is very important. We got to remember as they go into that bracket for stage 4, it's going to be the bottom 2 players getting kicked out. The top 2 will get preferential seeding stuck directly into the semifinals, so they have to play one fewer game, and that actually really matters. Remember, 7th and 8th place are going to walk away with $3,000, but getting to the top 4 automatically will get you all the way up, as we saw earlier with Gregan, to a $5,000 prize. And if you get top 2, then you also get auto-qualified into the fall season. So a lot on the line in just this leaderboard ranking, not only an opportunity to get into the bracket, but to get into a very strong position in the bracket. They're going to be duking it out for the top. These two players, I feel like, have got very confident positions in the top 6. I feel like they will make the bracket. But who is going to make it into the top 2? It all depends upon if you're able to keep that undefeated streak going and just never blink, never make a mistake. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
If you asked me at the end of last week, I would have said it's Nem Sensei, Surgical Goblin. They're going to be in the top 2. But asking me now, there's some potential picks here. Donkey Kong, looking very strong at the moment. Like I said, he gets a good win against a high-level opponent. I'll be tempted to give him that and say he could probably do top 2. But one of the benefits of also being in that green zone is not only do you get the semi-final, you get to play one less game, which means one less opportunity to be knocked out. You also get the scouting opportunity on your quarterfinals opponents. You see what they struggled against, what they were strong against, and you get that advantage to plan better for it because there's a 2-week break roughly between phase 3 and phase 4 for EU. There's a lot can change in those 2 weeks.
That's right. Let's see this current game starting now between Donkey Kong and Baron, though. Quick little attack out the left side with the binary, gets some chip damage under the tower. Poisons a nice trade that Baron is going to have to suffer here on that right side. Elixir Collector, but a battle ram going in the right side. Baron is shrugging right now. He's got nothing to defend. Spent all of his elixir on Musketeers up the left lane.
God.
What just happened? The first 45 seconds, and Baron once again taking a big, heavy hit out on the right side. Minion Horde murdering the Muskies set up at the bridge. They get about 800 damage at the left side tower. Zap will be able to take that those flying monkeys down, but it's looking like Baron is in a really desperate spot here. Needs to get a battle ram connection just to tie things up. Can't quite pull it off. Nice defensive bandit there. Will pretty much chop down all the barbarians there. We did get a musky lock on tower, though. Donkey Kong not going to counter that. I think he's feeling pretty confident because he's already got that right lane tower down. It's much more difficult for Baron to be able to pull off an upset and reclaim that right side tower since he's able to place those minion hordes right on top of the troops that are coming in.
What I like about that, though, is that's just the stylistic difference. That was full aggro from Donkey Kong on the get-go.
The freeze on the battle ram. Once again, soaking a big battle ram hit on the left side, gets those goblins down to defend, but Donkey Kong is punishing these Elixir Collectors very, very well. The Goblin Egg setup not going to get very much chip damage as the Ice Golem coming in to freeze and stop this next push. Donkey Kong taking damage on both towers as he did in the first matchup.
Wait,
but
Miner and
drilling
Battle
one
Ram
down.
on the right-hand side.
Oh, could be an opportunity to hit. Nice zap! Doesn't quite get the Battle Ram out of the tower, but Barbarians will contribute a little bit to that chip damage. Down to triple digits now. I'm feeling a little bit better about Baron, but it's still so difficult to get those troops on the tower. Triple Musketeer split once again, sending 2 down the right lane, 1 on the left. Oh, great timing on that poison. Zaps the Musketeers and the tower. Can he finish them off? Not quite, but they're none too healthy. I don't think there's a heal spell on Baron's deck either.
No, he's not running heal on this opportunity though. One Muskie, very low HP. Nightwish to back him up on this left side push. Minion Horde still traveling down on the right-hand side. Nice freeze there to stop everything going on. But Miner chipping away on the right-hand side. Miner's just been ignored.
Baron
Donkey Kong
claims
just
the
conceded.
tower. I think that was a strategic misplay by Donkey Kong. That right side was pretty much easy to defend. He is going to be going for the 2-1, but now Baron has the tower damage advantage. Facing a big push, he's going to send in the Miner to protect. But look at this Battle Ram. Can't quite make it there. Great defense by Baron. Admittedly, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice.
Yeah.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Baron's going to take a little more damage out the left side from Bats, going down to triple digits. Donkey Kong continuing to apply pressure. Can he get this Nightwitch Bandit assault to connect?
He's got a huge push coming in. Golem, Battle Ram, Bandit, and Nightwitch to just deal with Nightwich alone. Baron needs to start getting some units on the board. Zap their
Battle
poisons
Ram.
there.
The Battle
Bandit
Ram.
connects!
There's nothing to take it down. Battle Ram gets the kill. Donkey Kong for the 2-1 victory. I was worried about dropping that tower, but Donkey Kong definitely knew what he was doing there. Just dropped all his elixir over from the left lane and put up too much of a fight for his opponent to be able to get past. Looking very confident there, I think we can say.
I think the more the word is just calm. He
Yeah.
seems unfazed by that victory, which is fine because he knows there's still a journey to go. That's one game. There could be potentially 3 for him to play in this matchup alone. So he's not going to let himself get too carried away by the fact he did get that one victory because, like you said, he did make mistakes. He left that Miner unattended on the right-hand side, lost the crown when really he didn't need to.
Yeah, Miner, if left unattended, can deal just about as much damage as a rocket. Would you want to soak a rocket for 3 elixir? Probably not. There seemed like there were great opportunities for him to just be able to invest small bits here and there to be able to chip down. But at the end, he actually did have quite a very expensive deck with that Minion Horde as his primary response to the Musketeers flying in. You actually saw that he had to play a Minion Horde on top of those 2 damaged Musketeers that he already poisoned, already zapped. Felt like he had spent a lot of elixir trying to take them down. But at every point, Baron trying to get these Battle Rams down. This was the big connection for Donkey Kong time after time. Battle Rams going on in here. I think that this one actually might have been the one that finished the tower off. Yeah, there it goes. Donkey Kong with the 2-1 because Baron not playing any tornadoes, not playing any defensive buildings to distract the Battle Ram, going straight for the tower and knocking him down.
Well, it was the 1-2 punch at the end there because the Bandit took out Nightwish. The only thing left in the air is Bats. Bandit isn't going to leap into the sky, as cool as that would be, and just goes in a straight line into the Princess Tower, immediately followed up by the Battle Ram, making that connection. There was the chunk. It was the burst there to finish things off, and the poison didn't have time to erode through everything.
Yeah. You can slow that Battle Ram down, zap it, Ice Spirit it, whatever, but you gotta kill it. When it comes down to it, that thing has quite a bit of hit points, and you can't just distract it. You really do have to get something beefy on the back end to take it out. With Ice Golems often coming out in front for Donkey Kong to block that damage, Battle Ram had an easy connection and was getting Barbarians on the tower very reliably. Let's see if Donkey Kong can keep this up in Game 2. Looks like he's playing a very heavy Golem beatdown deck, bringing that rocket back.
They're both playing some beat down there. You got Giant Nightwitch being used with the Mega Minion to back it up behind, but he's also running the Lightning this time in case Donkey Kong ran that free Muskie. So I think he was prepared for the free Muskies.
I think he just might have been. Yeah, that's a pretty good point. That rocket got him a ton of value in match 1. If Baron was paying attention, he would definitely want to play around that.
No, I think Baron's ready for Donkey Kong's free Muskie.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Right, with the Lightning. I saw the rocket in Donkey Kong's set.
And also, he elixired straight away. I think the Golem is going to change any illusions he had right there. It's a pretty big tell. He's not going to run free
not
Muskies
really
as well.
committing to this giant push. It's going to reach the tower, though. Nightwitch not coming down just in time for Donkey Kong. Spent 8 elixir out on that right lane with the Golem, and it's looking like, ooh, with the Baby Dragon added on top, that's pretty good against the Nightwitch. It's stabbing down, and with Bats up top, that Golem is taking a lot of damage, but Goblin's out and back. This push on the right side is looking pretty good. Golem's going to connect. No Goblins to support. A little bit of Golemite damage there, though. Mega Minion coming in clutch for Baron to keep most of that damage off the tower. He will hold on to the damage advantage, I think. as long as he's able to counter this Baby Dragon somehow. Can he spend a little bit more elixir over there? Maybe an Ice Spirit or something to distract? No.
What was great about that was Baron had the Night Witch on the left-hand side. It needed an answer, so it forced Baron to expend some elixir on the left-hand side with those golems to distract Night Witch from just going ham for the tower. That's elixir he could have spent on the defense dealing with the golem. It enabled Donkey Kong to get that connection, start doing some work on this tower, and level out the HP.
Working hard, Donkey Kong with the damage advantage and both players pumping up. I think Donkey Kong might have the edge in double elixir time. He's got a really heavy beatdown deck. Dangerous Tornado, though, that is not able to kill goblins ever since the duration nerf. Does finish off the attack, though, and it's looking like Donkey Kong feeling confident about his defense. It's going to set up another elixir collector on the back. That's got to be a lightning opportunity for Baron.
Yeah, it should be, but I think he's holding it on
he's
for it
gonna
at the
pump up
moment. He's more
instead.
concerned about the defense that he needs to make. Also, you got to remember, Donkey Kong hasn't used that rocket yet.
Oh, you got
Baron-
lightning that pump, man.
Yeah. Baron,
Oh, it'd be so easy. Get the 6-for-7 trade onto the pump and tower damage. What if he can hit the Night Witch also? Oh,
He's
just
not
spending a little
using
bit
the
too much
lightning.
elixir. Yeah, never gets to that 6 opportunity to hit the left side. That would be such a perfect lightning for Baron, but he's got to worry about this right side push. Golem coming in is a big, heavy hit.
Right, he's
Ooh,
investing a lot
interesting
into
choice
it.
there. Tank's going to meet at the bridge, trying to soak the damage from the support troops. Goblins and Night Witch stabbing that Golem down. That was actually a pretty good call there by Baron to keep that right side healthy, but didn't make much of an inroad at all on the left side. He's got to get some damage in here somehow. Golem at the bridge for Donkey Kong.
Yeah, going in huge with this one. Going to look and try and push through all these Horde minions. The Night Witch and Baby Dragon should help clear it out. Mega Minions trying to do some damage.
This
There's
Golem
not
is real
enough
healthy.
DPS there.
Oh,
it's
no,
really
what's this
chunky as it
giant
makes the
doing?
connection. He's going for the Hail Mary push, but he just can't do it. Tornado is there to stall. Rocket not even used by Donkey Kong. He still had that for the clutch if he needs to. Might go for the free crowd, doesn't have enough time. Bless up, but Donkey Kong takes the victory 2-0 in a 2-1 victory in first match, 1 crown victory in the second. Wait for the chest bump. There it is.
Look at that man standing strong. So tall, proud, arms toward the sky. Donkey Kong remains undefeated, 3-0, and he has actually got the very top #1 leaderboard placement above all other players.
And matches
Donkey
Nem
Kong.
Sensei's record as well before
That's
the victory.
true.
Donkey Kong still got another game potentially here that's going, well, fan vote might vote him in against the Surgical Goblin matchup. Will he fall prey to the same fate as Nem Sensei, where he goes on this streak, then goes against Surgical Goblin, gets himself 3-1 instead of his 3-0?
Well, that's right. We do know he's going to play match 8, and he could also play match 9 if the fans out there choose to see the DK versus Surgical Goblin matchup. With a huge 3-0 victory, I can't see how you could not want to watch that matchup as soon as possible. Donkey Kong and Surgical Goblin are the 2 top players right now. Baron sent down. He's 2-2 now. He's still got a really decent chance to get into the top 6 placement, but I think that just dashed his hopes for any top 2 opportunity to get that preferential seeding into Phase 4.
Well, anyway, we're going to go get some thoughts from our locker room. So Greg and Mika, Ash, take it away.
Well, that's looking pretty good for the scoreboard there for Donkey Kong. He's now sitting right at the top, completely undefeated, 3 wins by himself. So he's had a very strong start to his first day in studio.
Gosh, I'm feeling bad for Baron.
Baron.
You're doing it again.
I'm doing it again. I just like mixing names up. That's what it is.
Yeah, Baron not as strong as we saw him in first week, just there with that beatdown.
Yeah, two things stuck out at me there. Thing number one is in the first match there, Baron played the 3 Musketeer Minor Minion Horde deck against the 3 Musketeer Minor Minion Horde Master. I mean, DK is known for pushing ladder top 20 in global, so that was a risky play. You usually don't want to play your opponent's strongest deck because they know how to counter it. And you're seeing on the replay here a monster push. That's actually the second thing that stuck out at me, is that when you're playing a giant deck against a heavier beatdown deck, a golem deck, you want to make sure you push the other side after the opponent drops the golem behind the tower immediately at the bridge. And Baron, a couple times there, played the giant preemptively at the bridge. I think that's too risky, and it didn't pay off for him.
Yeah, that was interesting. Watching him playing giant at the bridge, and it just wasn't ever working because he didn't have enough elixir ever to counter it. So there was that point when Night Witch got placed within range of tower and elixir collector. If he'd prepared for that, giant at the bridge, lightning those 3 things, that giant's going through, you've got rid of the elixir collector, and it's so much value in the lightning, but we just didn't see it.
Didn't see that at all. And you could see Baron getting super, super frustrated with himself. And every time those pushes came in from Donkey Kong, you could see Baron was just very frustrated.
Yeah, Baron's still 2-2, so he can't feel too down on himself. He has to make sure that he's still, you know, he's a good player. So there's nothing.
He's still in the blue.
Yeah, and
so.
DK is a really good player, so nothing wrong with that. But you're right, missed a few lightning opportunities there. And again, you just can't drop when you're going against the golem deck. You have to wait till they drop the golem, then attack the other lane immediately. You don't drop the giant when you know they're at full elixir. It's an easy defend, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so where we were saying that these players have to research their opposition, Surgical Goblin said it earlier on, how much he looks into his opposition, how much he learns the different metas. We now have two players who've shown that they're not so good at adapting because they're unfortunately sitting at the bottom a little bit more, and that's Danny and Suarez. I mean, it's going to be tough for them to prove which of them is going to be the better of the
I feel like,
lowers.
yeah, if one of them, the one that loses this match is probably going to be seated in the red unless some miracle happens. Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be a crucial match here. I mean, both of these players really need a victory, especially Suarez.
Yeah.
Danny, from week 1, he went 0-2, but the thing about Danny is that what stuck out at me is that he played different decks almost every single match. I think he's trying to find his comfort zone, and he needs it. He needs it quick, you know, so.
I mean, Danny's in the blue at this point, but if he does take this loss, he's going to be in the red, and Suarez is going to be able to climb out. But
Let's give them credit. They are in the top 8 of Europe.
They
These
are.
guys are talented players. It's just which of them is going to come out with the better performance. I want to hear what Trid and Woody are thinking about these two guys.
Well, Gregan, it is a battle to stay out of the red, but one of them's still going to have to remain in there.
Yeah, unfortunately, one of these players is either going to go 0-4 or 0-3, depending upon who claims victory here, but an opportunity to climb out the bottom. You know, these matches where the players are already really close together in the leaderboard are extremely important because those are going to decide who's going to move up above their opponent and who's going to stay down below. If you beat someone, if you're at the very bottom and you beat someone at the very top, you're going to move up a little bit, they're going to move down a little bit, but there's not really an opportunity to switch in positioning, but both down there at the bottom, no wins yet on the leaderboard. This is an extremely important match. A loss here could very well mean that you don't get a chance to go to the bracket. Let's go to the arena now. Our players are not going to be able to join us in the studio, but the first one that we will introduce is Danny, currently at the bottom of the leaderboard. He qualified day 2 and has got a very versatile deck selection. He's familiar with a lot of different cards, enjoys playing Lava Loon and Hog Rider decks, but doesn't really like going up against Royal Giant. Danny from Romania. It will be going up against Suarez now. We'll introduce him, the player from Spain. He's got a win. As I said before, a win against a similarly ranked opponent will be really critical. He's trying to stay out of that bottom 2 and also really likes to play really heavy decks. He prefers the ground attacks, though, over the Lava Loon, plays Golem and other really slow defensive decks. We actually do have Suarez in the studio with us today, so let's see. Do you think he's looking confident there? Is he ready to go?
I feel like his motivation, confidence might have been bruised a little bit earlier. He's obviously come through a defeat already. Danny's fresh face for this week, coming in. Might have a little bit of advantage from that because he's still got the I can win, I can do it. Suarez might have taken a little bit of a hit to the mentality after a 2-0 loss to Donkey Kong already.
That's true. We talk a lot about tilt on ladder. Losing games can affect your confidence in going into future ones, but perhaps Suarez, with that loss, has had an opportunity to reflect, watch a few more, tone his confidence, up a little bit, and will maybe get an opportunity to finally climb out of that bottom. Really, really needs a win here. Otherwise, he will have lost against over half of the field. I don't know what to say. Yeah, if you take a drop here.
If Suarez goes 0-4, then he gets himself into a very difficult situation where I don't believe if he goes 0-4, he can never get back into the green.
I guess maybe if he went on a 3-win streak after that.
He can't get into the green. He can get into blue. He can still get in there, but he can't get that semifinals guaranteed.
Laser focused. Suarez sees the pump. He's going to cycle through skeletons. Does he have a rocket? There it is. Yeah, it's going to be able to take it out 6 or 6 trade.
Yeah, easy 6-6 trade. It's got skeletons running down. It's just to basically beat the elixir from hitting tanks. They're not going to get any impact here. Doesn't force the hand of Danny whatsoever. Same things Danny's doing right now. Drops an Ice Spirit to go onto the right-hand side. Nothing still answered yet. So they're being very reserved about what they have in their decks, barring that Elixir Collector and the Rocket.
Okay, 4 Elixir from both players on the right side, but I think the Nightwood just got the edge over the Baby Dragon here with that tower helping out on defense. And an Ice Golem on the block. Danny could be making up a big push on this right side.
Yeah, but the Bats can't make the impact over to the Baby Dragon just yet. They keep getting killed by the
Whoa,
AoE.
quick
Whoa,
attack
on the left!
Battle Ram's going to be going toward the tower. Tornado pulls it away, and that Mega Minion getting a ton of value. I'm worried about this Bandit, though. Is she going to be able to take out the Night Witch? No! Doesn't get the jump in there. Both defensive troops survive for Suarez. That was a great opportunity for him to start up his next attack. Looks like he won't commit to either side, though. And I think that these troops are actually going to fizzle, not reaching the tower. Suarez is going to pump up now. Let's see if Danny's got a response. Nope, pump of his own.
Well, he's going to pump of his own, so 6 for 6 trade still exists.
Yeah, playing a rocket right after a pump, though, you'd be absolutely empty on Elixir. Danny could try to make a punish move there. Not really sure if he's got any quick striking units, though. He does seem to have a very slow deck. Whoa, Golem coming in from Suarez.
That's not a quick striking unit at all for Suarez. Golem being dropped on the right-hand side. Basically, the Diet Coke of Golem's been dropped on the right-hand side. This is going to come up behind the Night Witch to go for this push.
Hey,
3 Muskies just seems to be the
calories,
answer.
Though. It's cheap and easy. Left side's going to have 2 of the Musketeers. Only 1 on the right to defend. Night Witch helping out, though, and it's looking like that Golem push is about to get shut down. Ooh, Baby Dragon not going to get... actually, Baby Dragon did quite well. Tower helping out. I think it's only going to take 1 shot on the right. Golem Knights making their way onto the right side tower. Get a hit in there, but not too much damage to worry about. Suarez actually took a little bit more on the left.
Both
than
putting
Danny
up
on the right.
excellent defenses here. Barely any damage to any of the towers so far. Only chip at most.
Value. Yeah, Barbarian's just a little bit too far from the tower. Perfect timing on defense from Suarez. I think he's really caught his stride. Expecting him to pump up again. There it is over on the left side. We're going to have 3 Musketeers split in the center of the arena now. Suarez just block this push and you will have a ton of juice to play around with. Big split push coming in from Danny, though. 2 Muskies on the right. Battle Ram on the left side.
Clear path.
There it goes. Night Witch on defense is going to be able to take these Barbarians down, but not if the Musketeer can finish her off first. A lot of damage on the left, but the right side is going to take even more.
The Muskie's still locked on.
Muskie's locked on. Finishes it off.
Yes.
Danny with the 1-0.
Wow, Danny dunking Suarez with that solo Muskie's Golem aggressively put on the left-hand side. Bandit is there to try and start chipping away. Night Witch as well. It's all about the defense for Danny now. He doesn't need offense. He just needs to stop this push. Battle Ram to draw the aggro. 1 second left. No connection made. Suarez drops the first game to Danny.
Not quite enough, and Danny was so perfectly poised to punish that pump on the left. Perfectly poised to punish the pump earlier. He noticed that Suarez was low on Elixir. You know, you spend that 6 to get 8 later, but you are really vulnerable during the pump-up time. Suarez didn't have enough time to get the juice out of that pump to set up a defense against that massive split push. 3 Musketeers is really hard to defend if you could only really commit troops to playing 1 lane. Battle Rams out in front to block, getting the connection onto the tower. Night Witch is good on the setup, but with a lot of DPS on the back end and sufficient blocking, the win there just out of Suarez's reach once again.
It's not looking good for Suarez now. We said Danny was one of the question mark players coming into this one. Suarez had those over his head as well, and they really need this win to kind of start changing the doubts. And Danny seems to be coming out on top at the moment. Will the trend continue? Will Suarez go 0-4? Because I remember we came into week 1 and we were so hyped for Suarez. We were like, Suarez is going to do really well. The Spaniard is going to start just like taking names everywhere. And he's just, I hate to say it, been a bit of a disappointment when it's come to the group stages. And I'm still waiting for his resurgence in the same way I'm waiting for Adam's, and I'm starting to lose hope in both of them.
Oh, don't say that. I really think that they could make a comeback. Remember, Suarez was the player at the bottom 3 that was getting 1-2 losses, so they were pretty close games. That last one did seem like a pretty devastating beatdown. I think that the crucial misplay might have been pumping up rather than getting the Elixir onto the field to play actual defense. Let's see if Suarez has learned from that mistake, if he's brought a different deck maybe, or if Danny's just going to be able to run it back again and get the win.
Let's find out. 1-0 up for Danny at the moment. Game 2 to play for. Will we get our first game 3 of the day, or will this be another 2-0 shutout for Suarez?
You see both players playing very cautiously here. Ice Spirit does get a tiny little splash over on that right side, Baby Dragon. Looks like it will fly within range. Hog Rider on the left side, though, making its way toward the tower. Here it goes.
Get a couple of swings.
Hammer swings, 1 in, 2 in before the Mega Minion and Skeletons take it down. Baby Dragon for Suarez on the right side flies just within tower range. Looks like it's not going to be able to reach anything with that Knight protecting it.
Yeah, Skeletons to draw out the Mega Minion. Tower will do the rest of the work in this one. It's the Night Witch still encroaching on the right-hand side. Ice Golem down on the left, though. So misses out on the Night Witch, but Night encroaching.
I love your vocabulary.
Oh, thank you.
Left side, Ice Spirit does reach the tower. Tornado's going to pull that Hog Rider off, but it looks like he's making his way back. Lightning down. Big hit for Danny as he's getting the Hog Rider on the tower as well, taking out that pump. That's a great 6-for-7 trade. Suarez might have another drop of Elixir to play around with, but at what cost? Triple digits on his left side tower now.
Yeah, he's holding all the cards. There's a golem being dropped on the left-hand side for Suarez, so really going in on this beatdown again. But Danny has mixed it up a little bit with the Hog Lightning, and is doing some great work. What does he do here? Executioner being debuted for Danny.
Interesting move. Yeah, Danny's really got to play hardcore defense right now.
Rocket?
Whoa, a rocket for Suarez. That might give him a chance to tie it up. He needs some splash damage to deal with his skeletons and the Knights stacking up. Is he going to sit in the Mega Minion on the left side, maybe?
Hog going on the right-hand side. He's
Hog
going
on
for
the
the
right.
Hail Mary.
Yo, Suarez has got to go in hard, though. He cannot. He just got to ignore that Hog Rider. I completely agree with this decision. Needs to get the damage in. Might
He's
have
not
wanted to play
finding it.
something small on the right side. But yeah, Gollum struggling to reach the left side tower. Great distraction. That Knight Witch is not going to get anywhere. Danny once again pulls off a clutch defense. Hold on. Skeletons and Bats are starting to stack up, though.
Yeah.
We get a
Oh my
distraction
God, is he
back,
gonna
but
do
not
it?
in time. A little bit more damage out the left side for Suarez, and he might have just given himself a win condition here. Needs to drill in
Hog
hard on
Rider
the left.
going on the right again with double
you
elixir.
gotta
There's
pull this
no
off, though. You
reinforcement.
can't
There we
two
go.
Hog Riders. I wonder why he chose not to get the King Tower activated. Really could have easily done that. He was going to take a damage swinging onto the right side anyways. Forcing that Night Witch out is really bad. Suarez might be short on elixir to build up this left side push. All right, Golem in the center. That will be able to draw the distraction of the Executioner and the Knight. Not the Hog Rider, though. Needs something to block that. Here it comes. Mega Minion at the left. Skeletons to stab it down, too, but it gets one swing off. Lightning for
is there.
Danny! That's going to be one more Lightning to finish the left side tower. Suarez has
so
got to make
close.
this push happen. Baby Dragon to help that Golem out on the left side, but it's taking a lot of damage. Execution swinging away. Skeletons on the left side
There's
as
the
well.
split.
There's the split. Golem Knights making their way toward the left side tower. They do connect. Danny just needs to defend one more time, and he will get the match win.
Executioner tornado combo. That's it. He's going to start absolutely
pulls it off.
decimating everything.
Ice Spirit cannot get enough to keep that left side push going. Executioner seals
Lightning.
the deal on defense, and Lightning claims the win for Danny. Suarez will remain at the bottom of the leaderboard. 0-3 going into this match. He is now 0-4. Danny, however, with his first win, making an appearance on the leaderboard, get that point up there. He is now 1-2. You know he's going to be at home, pumping his fist, celebrating, happy to stay at the top and trying to keep that position in probably just that middle four will be his target goal.
Suarez goes 0-4. It's now basically impossible for him to get that semifinals guaranteed. Still time, still matches for him to get back into the stage where he can be in phase 4 of this one. I was pretty concerned about Danny halfway through that matchup, though. He was falling into the classic Clash dilemma of split HP on towers.
Right.
There was no real progress made on either real tower. He had half health on either, but that doesn't mean anything if you can't take a crown.
And it was kind of interesting because a lot of times you would expect the Hog Rider deck to actually drill in on one side and then try to play defense. He played very aggressively, and he got rewarded. Suarez, you might have noticed on one of those last Hog Rider attacks, defended with both a Tornado, 3 elixir spell, taking a swing onto the right side, and a Night Witch, 4 elixir troop, just didn't have enough oomph on that final left side push to get the kill in there. I think we just got to send it back to the locker room and see what their thoughts on the game are as we will be preparing for our next match.
Suarez.
Oh, no,
It
Suarez.
pains me to see his face when he's losing because he just gets so.
You can tell he's being hard on himself.
Yeah,
for it.
he needs
But
to.
he
just
needs to give
believe in
himself some credit. He's top 8 in Europe.
Exactly, and that Golem deck just not coming out for him there.
Yeah, and let's be honest, he has a chair, so
Yeah.
he shouldn't be upset. He can sit.
He's
He can sit.
comfortable.
He's great. But seriously, your heart goes out to him, but he's not out of it. He's not. A couple of victories, he could come back in the top 6. So I'm not discounting him. In that last match there, I would have liked to see, especially that last hog push on the right. If he had played the Night Witch in the left side to follow up that Golem and use the Tornado instead on defense, I think he might have had that match. But a lot of pressure on you when you're live here in
true.
studio.
Yeah.
Thousands of people watching, so it's tough.
Yeah, and we can see right here that Golem just pushing through, but just never quite getting to the tower and getting enough damage because you have to get a whole tower really with one push, otherwise it fizzles out.
See, this is interesting. The deck here that the Hog deck that Danny's using, I'd like to see Adam use this deck. I think it goes right into his wheelhouse, and I think that Hog Lightning is underused in the current meta. But this push, if he just had one more, if he had just had one more Night Witch behind there, unfortunately he loses that tower.
Yeah, that execution just slicing through everything in the push, and it's such a good counter to a big Golem beatdown because all of those troops are within a few executioner throws. I mean, you see the Baby Dragon, the Mega Minion just getting sliced through so quickly, which made it very tough.
It even worked really well against the Golem, especially in that push.
Yeah, for sure. And we can have a little look at the scoreboard. Unfortunately, we're going to see Suarez at the bottom. But for Danny, he's now moving on up. He's got a win under his name. So that puts him up in the blue for sure now.
Big win for Danny there, putting some separation between him and Adam and the Suarez.
It's interesting at the bottom, we actually have differentiation between every one of those bottom 5 players, you can see.
Yeah.
And right at the top, we've got those 3 giants competing, Nem-sensei, Surgical Goblin, and Donkey Kong. So it's going to be exciting to see how those 3 play out and whether Royal, Baron, or Danny can start to join them up there. They're looking pretty strong right now.
They are. Really excited to see the next match. But that's going to be after.
Yeah, so we saw Golem just then. And unfortunately for Golem, it's not been used as much last week in Europe. So we did some stats based off of the cards that were used last week to see which ones were getting more popular and which ones weren't used as much in Europe. And obviously it's going to change a bit with the new meta, but Tornado was used so much last week, which is quite interesting because that was one of the cards that got nerfed.
Exactly. I mean, last week Tornado got extremely popular, and I think that next week it's going to be going down again because now you can't kill as many swarms with it as you used to.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I still think Tornado's a strong card, but maybe, like we saw in the previous, or one of the previous matches, maybe it will give some room for like Inferno Tower, because a lot of people are carrying Tornado instead of that defense, so we'll see. But I think Tornado's really, you know, the ability to activate that King Tower is just so strong, you know?
Yeah, and we didn't get to see that just then in the Suarez game. We didn't use it for the Hog Rider, which is why Hog Rider was getting a little bit less popular, and Battle Ram is going up because it's less tornadoable, if that's a word. Make it a word.
Tornadoable.
But then Golem's going down, which is interesting. We only saw one Golem deck, and it actually won its game last week in Europe. So it's got a 100% win rate, but it's less popular.
Yeah, I think that Golem deck still, you know, despite a little dip in the popularity, I guess, I think that it's still viable. I mean, it's still the father of beatdown, right? I mean, no unit in the game has more HP than a Golem, and a Golem deck can be so strong, especially in double elixir time. So if you're playing against a Golem deck, like we saw, you know, 2 matches ago, you have to make sure to capitalize and get your damage in the first 2 minutes, and then try to defend against the onslaught in the last in overtime.
And then the last card there is another tank. It's the Giant, a cheaper version of the Golem, essentially.
We've seen a lot of Giants in the past few weeks.
It's versatile. It can be used with lots of different things. So you can use it with Graveyard quite effectively. It's very useful with that Night Witch, the combo of the 2 together. And it's a cheaper way to send in a tank that you can't leave alone. Because those big tanks, you cannot ignore them. And Giant is just at the cusp where it's cheap, but you still have to worry about it because it can do a heavy amount of damage.
It requires a response when you lay it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, you know, Giant has always been viable in the game. I think it's a good option. We're seeing it a lot, like you said, with Graveyard, you know, and I think of Royal last week using Graveyard, Giant, Graveyard, Giant, Graveyard,
Giant.
Giant.
That was also Nem-sensei against Baron last week.
Yeah. And especially when you take a tower down, playing that Graveyard Giant in the pocket on the opponent's side, so difficult to stop. You know, you have to be ready for it at all times,
So we've got some interesting cards here, but I want to hear an interesting matchup and how you can improve your chances in those matchups. So Trid and Woody, tell us a little bit more about Three Musketeers and Hog Rider.
Thanks very much, Greg. And yeah, it's going to be Three Musketeers and Hog Lightning, 2 of the most popular archetypes we see not only in the tournament, but on ladder as well. We've been given 2 sample decks of this archetype. We're going to break down and see how we can tweak them to make them better fare against their opponents. So for the Hog Lightning deck, we have Executioner, Ice Spirit, Skeletons, the Log, Knight, Tornado, and of course Hog Rider and Lightning. Woody, I'm going to hand that to you. And then for the Three Musketeers, we have the Log, Elixir Collector, Miner, Battle Ram, Electro Wizard, Three Musketeers, Skeletons, and Goblin Gang. And that's yours as well.
All right.
Dr. Woody Woodrow Woodson, get to work.
Well, my first thing that I want to say here is when you're going onto a ladder or when you're going into a tournament and you don't know who your opponent is, you really have to craft a well-rounded deck to be able to deal with every type of threat that you might have to face up against. But in this one little thought experiment here, what we're going to do is say we're playing a Three Musketeers deck. We're going up against the Hog Rider Lightning deck. What can we do to the deck that we have here at the bottom of the screen to fix it so that it's a little bit better against Hog Rider Lightning? Because with Lightning in our opponent's deck, we are really worried about losing our big 9 elixir win condition card, the Three Musketeers. They each die to 1 lightning bolt, and it could be devastating if we can't put up that big push. So what I want to do is look at the cards that we've got in the deck that we really need to keep to hold on to have a chance against this Hog Rider deck, and then consider some of the cards that we might not really need against this one particular matchup, and consider what we could add in their place in order to make it a little bit better off. So the first thing that I'm noticing is that our opponent's deck here does not have any flying troops whatsoever.
Yes.
So there's not really as much of a need to have things that can hit the air. I'm liking Electro Wizard, but I think that in this particular deck matchup, we may not need him. We might need a little bit more of a tanky presence here. I think that a Knight would work really well in that place because he would be able to chop down Executioners quite well, does single target damage, and has really high hit points to be able to soak. And he's also quite good against the Hog Rider. He won't take him out alone, but single target damage is what we're going to be needing here, not really focusing too much on air, radial, or range damage.
One of the things I've noticed as well is you've only really got the log as your only spell. There's no real spell item there, so I'm thinking that's where you're probably going to lead to at some point with this.
That's absolutely correct. I think the log is the second one that we want to change. Now, while the log does hit ground troops and we're going up against a ground stacked deck here, it really works a little bit better against bigger clumps of troops. We're looking to take out goblin barrels, skeleton armies, goblin gangs, princesses, dark goblins, and none of those cards are in our opponent's deck. So what I think we ought to do with this log here, draw that out, and let's try to get a spell in there that can counter our opponent's win condition, the Hog Rider. This is going to be the biggest threat to our towers. Although the Knight and the Executioner are scary, they're not often the ones that are dealing the damage directly to us. I think that if we take out the log and put in a Tornado spell, we'll be able to pull Hog Riders onto our King Tower, get that activated for the nice little defensive edge. We can play around with these kind of mid-sized pushes that our opponent likes to put together with the Knight out in front to block, Executioner on the back to deal splash damage and try to take down enemy troops, and the Hog Rider, of course, to try to get the damage. Pull them all into one little spot, and although we don't have any splash damage in our deck, and that is kind of one of the downfalls there, if we can get a nice surround with the Goblin Gang or a Knight kind of dropped in the middle to distract, I think that we'll have enough DPS, especially in double elixir time with the Three Musketeers coming out, to be able to push off any attacks that are coming toward us and secure the victory. Now, the last thing that I do want to mention, Battle Ram, even though our opponents don't have any towers, I think we'll get a lot more value serving as a lightning rod. One really cool tech thing that you can do with the Battle Ram is to try to have it soak a lightning blast and then also 2 more lightning hits whenever they try to play that lightning on our Three Musketeers. Sending them right in close together will be the best way to protect our ladies and make sure that they get a chance to hit the tower.
Yeah, fantastic. A little bit of knowledge bomb there as well. What I also wanted to point out is you said about using Tornado, right? People have been a little bit concerned. Tornado got nerfed, but if you've seen anything from the play today, players are still using it. You can still use Tornado. And of course, there's the neat little trick you can do, obviously, with Hog Rider. Pull it into the King Tower. We talked about it on the broadcast, why it wasn't done. Get yourself some extra defense as well to help with the push.
You can actually pull off that trick against the Knight as well. He's got so many hit points. Drag him right onto the King Tower, get it activated early, and then you won't have too much to worry about on defense for the rest of the game.
Well, thanks very much for your insight, Woody. We're going to throw it back to the locker room.
Hey, Woody, can you write a book? I would read that every single night because he has so much knowledge and I just love listening to it.
But he has to use the name Woody Woodrow Wilson.
Yeah, Woody Woodrow Woodson? Or
I think it's Wilson, whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Just call him Dr. Woody.
Dr. Woody. So thank you, Dr. Woody, for that. It's definitely an insight into how you can improve your matchups, especially in this kind of tournament setting where these players know each other. We spoke to Surgical Goblin earlier on and he said, I research the players I play against.
Oh, yeah.
So that's so important for them right here.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, looking into this next match here, again, I would suspect that Surgical is going to be ready for Three Musketeers again. And, and like we just talked about, building a good counter deck is super important. Now, one card that we haven't seen much of as a win condition is the Mortar so far, right?
That's interesting.
And
You're
Woody the
speaking
Mortar,
Woody's language
I know,
right
Woody
now.
the Mortar Mauler would probably approve of this. But, you know, Mortar might not be the best deck in a 3-minute overtime match. But against Three Musketeers, especially with like Mortar, kind of a control deck, sometimes with a Mortar Rocket, Tornado, you can devastate Three Musketeer decks.
But do you think Baron's going to use Three Musketeer?
Well, he played Three Musketeers.
He played it today, but he also
played
lost.
it 4 out of 5 matches so far,
Yeah.
though, you know?
So if Surgical Goblin's been watching,
because he's a little frustrated with how he's been playing.
We really don't know how this is going to go, because if you're up
know.
against Surgical Goblin, you're going to be thinking, I have to do something special right now.
Yeah.
So perhaps that's going to play into Baron's mindset, and he's going to try and do something he's not comfortable with.
Mind games could go real deep with this one.
So we do have Baron versus Surgical Goblin now. We're going to send it straight back to Trid and Woody. I'm sure they're going to ooze their knowledge into this game as well.
Did he just say ooze?
Smiles and cheers or anger and tears. We'll find out shortly as we jump into game 2. Game 2? It's going to be game 5. I'm getting really confused
oh my
here.
God. Match 5.
Match 5. Doesn't matter. Baron versus Surgical Goblin. I'm a little bit excited about this matchup, hence the little bit of display there. This one's going to be a real big doozy, because we said there's a lot of respect going on. I said doozy. Don't
Ooze?
panic.
I'm worried about the ooze. Don't ooze on me.
Everyone's saying a lot of ooze, aren't they?
What is with you Brits and your oozes and your doozes?
I don't know, but Baron versus Surgical Goblin. We heard the level of respect that Surge has for Baron earlier in his interview in between match 2 and 3. We're about to jump into it and see how they fare against each other. If Baron takes down Surge, I think that'll be an upset.
I definitely agree that it would be an upset. You know, we got Baron at 2-1 coming into today, dropped the first match, but he really might have a chance to get to the top 2 again. He would have to beat Surgical Goblin, though. This is kind of one of those crucial matchups, again, where I mentioned earlier in the day, if you've got players who are somewhat close on the leaderboard, being able to get the opposite upset win might be able to pull you ahead a little bit, trying to take the first win off of Surgical Goblin. We have got Baron in the arena today, representing Germany. He lost to Nim Sensei on the 1-2, and Nim Sensei lost to Surgical Goblin. So if we use the what is it called? There's a math property for that one, I think, right? It's not coming to mind right now.
You've lost me with the math.
But, well, Baron's going to be doing his best. He always fights hard, never gives up. Might be the dark horse against Surgical Goblin, though. A champion among champions, 2-0 right now, undefeated in the European region. He's going to be marching on the stage very soon. Plays off meta decks all the time, is very innovative, cutting-edge player. Looking very confident there, arms crossed. He arrived in Los Angeles actually on the same plane as me yesterday. I got a chance to meet him over in the airport before we got over here. Might be a little jet lagged, but he's definitely going to be fighting hard to remain undefeated and try to hold on to that top 2 spot right now. He's played 2 matches and he's won all 4 games in those matches. So I don't even know if we're going to see Surgical Goblin drop a single game today. This is the only one that we've actually got for him on the schedule. There's a chance that we could see him in the featured match if the viewers out there vote for him, but if otherwise, this will just be his third match overall, excuse me, and might have to wait until day 3 to see even more of Surge.
Well, at this point, I'm willing to bet on the community backing Surge to be in a community match.
Did you vote for him? Did you pull your phone out?
No, I'm probably going to do that in a minute, though.
Oh, okay.
Did you?
No, not yet. And, you know, I'm trying to be unbiased. I don't know. You seem really interested in helping Surge out.
I seem interested in giving Surge another match because I love watching this guy play.
Yo, that's very reasonable.
That's not to help him. That's to help me. He could win or lose. It'd still be fascinating to me.
That's just logical.
Yeah.
That's just proper. That's just
By
correct.
the way, production was nice enough to tell me it's deductive reasoning we're looking for.
Deductive reasoning, yes. All right.
Not necessarily mathematical, but it's still...
By the transitive property, I think is what I was trying to go for there earlier.
That's
yeah.
nice as well.
Well, they're both lounging around back in the arena, ready to start. Baron cracking his knuckles. Got a little wry smile there. I think a win here for Baron would be necessary to go into the top 2, but a loss might not even send him into the bottom 2. He's already got 2 wins on board. Probably feeling pretty confident over Adam and Suarez right now, who have both dropped 0-3 and 0-4.
Is that a bit of a log bait coming out from Surgical Goblin?
That's what it looks like to me.
Princess instantly being deleted by poison, split archers at the back, and Goblin Bow comes right behind.
Yep, getting the log roll through. Just missed one of them. Baron is playing a very interesting deck here. He's got Giant Skeleton and Sparky, 2 cards that we very rarely, if ever, see. You know, Nim Sensei did get a chance to play and win with Sparky. It's got to be a huge upset if Baron can do the same thing here. Inferno Tower is a really good counter, though, to those big, heavy troops. The Giant Skeleton might have some trouble getting through that, and especially with all the distraction that Surgical Goblin's going to be able to put up with the Goblins. You got to be a little bit worried for Baron, but he's playing calm, cool, slow, collected. Going in for this left side attack, though.
Yeah, he's not going to answer for the Goblin. Oh, Slog comes out.
Hang
quite
on,
early
that
to help him out.
block, and that's about 500 damage off the left side tower. Skeleton started to stack up just a little bit. Princess and the Dark Goblin making it a little bit too slow in there. And a nice poison as well. Baron is actually playing at the top of his game right now. That left side tower down just about 800 hit points, while Surge hasn't really gotten too much of a connection yet on his opponent.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of chip from that Goblin gang that just came through here, but it was drawn like a little bit of attention there on the left-hand side. But gonna drop the tombstone, let these Skellies start marching up the right lane, probably combo up something to do with it once he gets to the 10 Elixir. But Princess gonna have a very easy time shutting down all these Skellies, because of course, just such incredible range in AoE coming out from that card.
That's right. We've got just kind of small, mid-sized pushes going out so far. Expect in double Elixir time to see Surgical Goblin holding onto that rocket until he sees the big push coming in from Baron. A Giant Skeleton with a Sparky right behind would be a massive threat. Now, Baron does not know that his opponent has the rocket right now. If he tries to make that play, he could be in a lot of trouble. Roll a log through here, Baron. That's what you need. How is that not a log opportunity? Maybe it's not back to his hand yet.
I don't think he's got it back to his
Or
hand
he's
yet.
holding on to it for the Goblin Barrels. That might be a
Yes.
pretty good option. There it goes. Rolls through. Down to 1960 on the right side there. But Baron applying more pressure to the left. He'll be trying to pull out a win here. He's going to send in another graveyard push maybe. Skeletons to catch. It's looking like, actually, since he's got skeletons in his deck, that deck list we have on the left side of the overlay may not be accurate. Yeah, Archers as well from Baron, so not quite sure what we have.
Golden Bow coming down. Gonna answer with the log, but Princess, I don't think is in range to actually be hit by this, so Princess still gonna be fine. Oh, Mega Minion gets the one slap though.
Whoa,
Graveyard
Ice
on the
Golem
left.
in front of block.
Poison available
Poison's
as
going to
well.
take down the Dark Goblin and hit the Knight and the Tower. Good opportunity for Baron to get some damage in here. Bring it way far down. Might even get into triple digits. Oh, not quite. But Baron beating Surgical Goblin right now. Ahead in the match. Hasn't claimed the win yet. But let's see if he can just continue this very careful, slow, methodical defensive play. You know, there's got to be just this sort of psychological advantage for Surge right now. Sitting high and mighty. Surge dodges that poison with great deftness. Log rolls through, though. He's going to need to counter this Goblin Barrel out back. Ooh,
Yeah,
lucky for Baron, that was a
skeletons
Juke
catch.
Barrel.
Yeah, Juke Barrel, Skeletons catch it. Very nicely played. But you got to think, Baron could, in theory, just cycle through poison here. Combine attention with Graveyard as well, because the Knight's not going to be able to catch both skeletons.
Skeletons are starting to stack up out of the back.
no, they propped the
500,
King Tower for
400,
defense.
300, 200, a poison
Poison's
added
there.
on top, and Surge gets the good game.
Are you kidding
His
me?
first loss in the Crown Championship. Baron has done the unthinkable.
We knew that Surge was going to respect Baron, like, clearly from watching his gameplay, and Baron gives Surge his first loss, not even for a match, just a game.
It's
Incredible from Baron. I
Oh,
genuinely
look at that smile,
Yeah,
though.
you've got to be happy with that victory. You're
Right?
taking down people who are claiming him as, claiming Surge as the god of the EU matchups, and you just, like, made God bleed.
You did. And you know, I actually broadcast the Royale Premier League yesterday. Surgical Goblin is one of the top team members for Team Castle, which was represented there yesterday. He dropped the game yesterday as well to Pompeo, another opponent who uses very tricky, smart, quick attack tactics. I think Baron might have actually seen that game. He's taken a
Taking some
page
notes.
out of his opponent's playbook there, prepared very well. And, you know, he didn't play that deck that we saw in the overlay. A little bit different, though. He still had the Ice Golem. He still had the Graveyard. So a very quick, reactive, but punishing deck. Whenever you can get a great log onto your opponent's like small chippy troopy push over
Chippy
on the,
troopies?
yeah, a little chippy troopy push. The goblins that we saw, the princesses that were coming out of Surgical Goblin, were great opportunities for Baron to get awesome elixir advantages to be able to, you know, pay for those big pushes out the left side. Ice Golem Graveyard isn't too expensive, but at the 7 mark, you really got to wait and be patient and not overcommit on those attacks. I think that we might have a chance to take a look at the replay here and see what the winning move
Yeah,
was.
we're gonna-
Baron out the left side with an Ice Golem to protect.
Yeah, we're going to look at the game-winning moment here. One other thing I want to point out, the Skeleton did prop the King Tower. I think if Surge could have held this a little bit better, it might have got some value out of that, but the poison, the push, the Graveyard still being unanswered, and the log to finish it off, just too much for Surge to deal with there.
But with that Graveyard cycle deck, Baron applying a lot of pressure out to the left side, never had to face any big beatdown pushes. As you saw in that replay, we actually only saw 6 of the cards that Surgical Goblin was playing during the entire game. It looks like his deck was built with a different opponent in mind, and Baron really gave him a run for his money because he didn't play into what Surge thought he was going to be using. You know, Surgical Goblin actually often quite uses decks that are kind of unique in his own creation, loves playing that Dark Goblin, which is not very popular in the metagame. I'm curious to see if Surge is going to come back and play kind of the more standard metagame defining decks that we've seen quite a bit, or if he's got a unique creation of his own to try to claim victory here.
It'll be sure to be interesting to see if there's any variation. Surge running the 3 Muskies this
I
time.
just love watching Baron. He's so subtle in the way that he looks around, gives a quick little smile, a knowing nod to the camera. We've got a Goblin Gang out the left side. Zap goes down. Not going to get quite the connection that he's looking for there with the Barbarians, but one does make it onto the tower. Blocking for the Night Witch there. Ice Spear goes down, and it looks like the Night Witch and the Barbarian are going to go onto the left side again. Miner to take out that pump, and Baron has got a great early advantage once again over Surgical Goblin. 2,000 hit points taken off that left side tower in the first attack of the game.
I love the little head bob from Baron there at the end. Like, he kind of looked at the end of the push, he's like, yeah, pretty good job. He just
Right?
carries on going. And that's a great job to kick things off there, Baron.
Is Baron Surgical Goblin's kryptonite? It seems like every move that Surgical Goblin wants to play, Baron is one step ahead of him. countering that pump with the miner. It's amazing to think that Baron is really relying on Three Musketeers for this deck, but got so much damage in with just a Battle Ram Night Witch push.
Oh my god, that Ice Spirit shaved up the Ice Spirit. No! Oh! Just a
Barb's
little.
still a threat though.
Didn't have,
one swing.
Just didn't have the duration on that Ice Spirit for Baron to stop the counter Ice Spirit from landing before impact was made. Just fall short. There you go. Nice zap to guarantee
nice
that
zap
there's
by
no attack on
Surge.
Baron.
Gets the Barb on tower, and the Musketeers have locked. The Goblin Gang making its way toward the
Oh
right
my
side
God,
tower.
is this the turnaround?
Musketeers about to finish it off.
He's
That
got
is
it.
the turnaround. Surgical Goblin takes the tower down. Facing 2 Musketeers and a Battle Ram over to the right side, though. He's going to play really heavy defense. I don't think a Bandit's going to be enough. Can't block the Battle Ram. Gets the connection. A Miner on top to get some more damage onto the tower. Plenty of
Holy
tanks
hell,
for these
Baron.
Musketeers, and they are going to take the tower all the
But
way
look at all
down.
the work he's done on the left-hand side already. Baron has set himself nicely to get the 2-1 victory. There's only 400 HP left there on Surge's tower.
Baron's so far ahead in this game right now, going into double elixir time. 60 seconds left for Surgical Goblin to try to turn this thing around again. Now, Surge and Baron have both recognized that there's no big spell in their opponent's deck, so they're happy playing 3 Musketeers all in the same lane. Who is going to be able to
Just the
better
musky
defend?
duel in the middle could decide the rest of this matchup.
Battle
If it goes
Ram's
in the favor
blocked.
of Baron, it could
Maybe
work
that
out
also
nicely.
for Surge. Ooh, Goblin's coming in. I think the gank is going to work better for Surge in this case. Zap goes down, but the 3 Musketeers are about to lock onto each other. Hit this Ice Spirit jump.
Zap!
No. Zap coming in. Can we get a tank out for Surge? Those Musketeers are none too healthy. Battle Ram is
as
going
well
to take
from the
form.
side.
Night Witch out on the left side. Can't kill any of the Night Witches.
Oh, he connects!
The
Oh, the gang is there
Musketeers are
as well!
connecting. Are they going to reach the tower? There they go. Barb.
Yes,
and
the lock-off, that's it,
Musketeers
Surgical
taking
Goblin.
it down. Baron, you got to get Musketeers right on your opponent's side of the arena. Got to finish off that left side tower. 4:48 left.
He's going for the free crown. He's
Oh
not
my
happy
God.
with game 1, and he's sending a message. You may have made me bleed, but I will destroy you for doing that.
Oh man, I so thought Baron had that game. Surgical Goblin turning it around and proving that he is one of the top players in the arena. You know, he came into this game undefeated, dropped a close one to Baron there, who just outplayed him, frankly, in the first game.
Yes.
The second game, Surge taking a big hit right at the beginning, soaks it and goes back even harder. Baron just playing so defensively and not really trying to get that last tower down. Couldn't take it down in time. The quick, just like dropping elixir as soon as he gets it placed by Surgical Goblin, getting the Goblin Gang out there, the Bandit, the Battle Ram, everything he had to do to protect those Musketeers and make sure they get a chance to finish off the push coming on in.
Yeah, he didn't give him an opportunity to just kind of get himself back, give himself a second to think about what he was doing. He just kept the pressure on constantly. He put his foot on the gas and just didn't let it stop. And I think that played into Surgical Goblin's favor so much better because Baron couldn't get what he was looking for. You know, we talked about it when he took the first tower, equalized it. 400 HP left on Surgical Goblin's tower. You'd think, just from looking at the game, going, Baron's got this. He's easily got this. And then Surge is giving him a big, nope, guess again. Doesn't only go for 2 crown, manages to get the 3 crown. But
seals the deal. There are no brakes on this crazy train, but I'm curious what our conductors back in the locker room had to think about it.
My drop is jawed. That was insane. The third game, that's the first third game we've got so far, and it couldn't have been done in a more crazy comeback right there.
Baron was on top of it. I could not even believe that.
He was on top the whole game, and then that 3 Musketeers showdown, the Ice Spirit and the Zap came in just to give Surgical Goblin the advantage going forward. And once he got those Musketeers locked on, everything else was distracting, and the Musketeers...
I mean, there was a moment there that I thought Baron might be able to turn that push around because Surge put down a Bandit, but the Bandit went completely to waste. But no, Surge went in for the 3 crown and immediately got it. It was such a good game.
That was a great matchup. I think everybody thought that Baron had that one. Surgical made a great comeback. And the thing is, when you're playing a mirror matchup like that, you have to, I mean, especially 3 Musketeers, you have to concentrate on 2 things, and Surgical did a good job of that. Number 1 is trying to take the pump advantage, take the pump lead, even if it costs you some tower damage early on. Use your tower's hit points as a resource, right?
For sure.
Crazy.
And he did. He used almost all of one of his tower's hit points to make sure he got the 2 crown there.
And the other thing, too, is you want to make sure that when you identify they have no big spells, you have to play 3 Musketeers all in the same lane and try to keep them on your side of the arena using, again, your tower as a defensive weapon there. And you saw that it worked out for Surge. He actually had 3 Musketeers left standing after that showdown there.
That 3 Musketeers standoff was so much hype. And you knew whoever won that 3 Musketeers standoff would win the eventual game.
Hype,
so we're going into game 3 right now.
Who you guys got? Who you guys got?
Baron. I'm going Baron.
Right, quickly. Baron.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm going Surge.
Surge. Trid and Woody.
Okay.
Next game.
It's going to be Surgical Goblin.
There it is, folks. Well, you know, I think the storyline would be better if Baron gets the win. Surge needs to be taken down a peg, right? We've got Donkey Kong and Surge both up at the top. I'd really like to see them duke it out in the voter match today. I keep on harping on that for some reason. But I feel like if Baron could get a win here, he could actually bring down a champion and has a real good chance to make it toward the top 2. But it all comes down to this game. Can Baron claim victory here? If that overlay is correct, it looks like we got Hog Lightning out of Baron and a Graveyard Cycle deck out of Surgical Goblin. May have taken a page out of Baron's book there with those quick attacks. And yeah, Tombstone as well. That looks like the deck that Baron played in Game 1.
Maybe he's just like, because we know the players can adapt. They don't have to lock in their decks before the match. They can create any deck they want in between games. Maybe he's just like, this will get him. And like, use his deck from Game 1. There's maybe just this extra level of mind games.
Just one Archer to support this Graveyard push on the right side. Not a very big attack, but Baron is playing very cautiously on defense. Only has got the Knight and those Goblins out on the right side to defend. Takes it down, but he's going to move it on the right side. Here comes the Hog Rider attack. Check this out. Can we see a log to support this Hog? No, not quite. Looks like the Skeletons are going to be able to take the Hog out before he gets to swing onto the tower. The Knight, swarmed by Skeletons, is not able to get a connection in there either. Surgical Goblin in the first minute takes a little bit of damage on the right.
Execution doesn't even seem to get the angle just to get some damage onto the tower. Graveyard being dropped. Ice Golem is there to draw some aggro and pull him away. We'll get the freeze to clear out, hopefully, but there's so much damage being done to the right-hand tower.
Corner.
No one's touching it. Execution in the back right corner hasn't done enough fast enough.
Surgical
And
Goblin
Surge
with
is taking the lead.
Up. Baron cracks another smile, but he took a ton of damage there. You know, the Ice Golem could serve as a really good tank against the Graveyard. When it explodes, it kills all the Skeletons, but just couldn't get enough damage onto the Ice Golem. It was all going straight toward the tower. Executioner's going to finish off the Skeletons, though. Is the Hog Rider going to get a swing?
Oh, doesn't get the
just
tap.
not barely.
There you go, Executioner won't kill off that Archer, but the tower will get that one arrow through, I believe.
What is Baron saying to Surge there? You know that they got something.
Nothing's going on.
Can we get those guys mic'd up? That would be hilarious to hear.
I think it would be. Maybe for finals. We'll push it for finals.
Yeah. I'll work on that. Yeah. Ice Golem out on the right side, though, to try to block a preemptive. What the heck? Tornado onto an Ice Golem. I think that might have been a misplay there. 3 for not even 2 trade. Can't finish off this Ice Golem in the back.
Goblins are sitting on top of the poison, actually coming out from Surge to try and give himself some extra
Skeleton
levels.
in the top left corner grabs it. Oh no.
80.
Lightning gets that Hog on the tower, though. Nice Ice Golem to block.
Surge finish it.
Is going to drop down. Yeah, it's 1150, but Surge is going to be able to take that right side tower out with a log. It's really up to Baron to get a big hit over on the right side. But
switches
can he do that and block on this left side as well?
Yeah, he switches attention to the left. No, he's got the advantage. Log comes out to clear the Goblins. Might get a couple more Skellies out of the Graveyard. He does, and they start getting some chip damage.
Take a little bit of damage. Nice log rolls through. Kills all the Skeletons. Look at that. The Skeletons from the Graveyard, or from the Tombstone, and the ones that Surgical placed are taken out in one fell swoop. Right side hit from the Hog Rider's going to bring it down to 12. We need to get another log in here from Baron to get that tower down. Can he cycle back? I think he should have enough time. Ice Golem and Goblin's very cheap. One more log. No, Baron! Can he beat it? It gets there in time. Baron's going to put this thing into overtime now.
It's no longer about the right-hand lane. It wasn't even for the last minute or so. It's all about the pressure that's being put on the left. Surge has got the HP advantage. It's time for Baron to come back into it. He's got the Hog Rider. Tombstone is there. Archers will back him up. But
Great
now,
sneaky play by Surge
on the
placing the
counter-attack,
Tombstone
running straight into the Executioner.
Here comes the Executioner, chopping down this Mega Minion.
Draw the aggro, he draws the aggro of the Executioner.
Oh, nicely done there. Rolls a log through, though. He will not be going back on hard on offense just yet, but Baron, it does have a pretty good defense against this big push. Low on elixir. He'll probably have enough to add a Hog Rider on. Here it comes. Tombstone to block the Hog Rider. Another Ice Golem to block for the King Tower. Nicely done, Baron. Lightning hits the Tombstone and the tower, but can't get the Hog in there. Knight's about to make some inroads, though, unless Surge can block it. There we go. Skeletons in the back end. Get the job done.
Skeletons OP, still nerf.
Baron, though, at 1477, does have the elixir to set up an Executioner to defend. Looks like Surge will not be committing to this push. Maybe for Poison Cycle. Okay, interesting decision there. Hog Rider to make the attack again. Oh, bad log rolls. Not going to hit the Tombstone, though. That Hog is distracted just a little bit too long. It's not looking like he's going to reach the tower. Wow, just stonewalled by that Ice Golem.
Oh, Tornado to get the maximum value out of this Executioner. Will clean up that re-push from Surgical Goblin.
Surge is getting reliable damage from the spells. Hasn't really sent another big Graveyard spell back on yet. I'm wondering why Baron isn't playing the Hog Rider just directly on his opponent's side of the arena. He's sticking it always behind this Ice Golem. Good lightning goes down.
Limit
Gonna bring the entire
contact.
11,
Oh, gets
99.
one tap.
Good hit from the Hog as well. Baron is back ahead now in tower damage, but it's Surge's turn to counterattack. Ice Golem, the block, is going to see a Graveyard set up in the back. We got the King Tower activated. That is great news for Surge if he can get some skeletons to spread out, but no, they're all stacking up onto the Knight.
Yeah, they're all being drawn into the Knight's arc of control. Going to get themselves decimated before they can make the impact that they need to, as the HP has started to level out here.
A lightning cycle from Baron. He just needs a little bit more on that left side tower. A naked Graveyard. Ice Golem added on to block some hits. It gets the aggro of both towers. Ice Golem in the back for Barons, trying to soak these skeletons, but they get a fantastic surround of the tower. Brought down to 401 hit points now. That's 2 more poisons. Can Baron get that lightning cycle onto the left side to claim victory?
Yes!
There it goes! Baron wins! Defeats the undefeated Surgical Goblin. A 2-1 victory for the German player.
The underdog story happened. People wouldn't have said that Baron could take out Surge. Surge gave him respect, and guess what? He has earned it from the rest of the community. He's taken down someone we were touting as going to be the EU champion. He made the god bleed, he twisted the knife, and he's taken that victory.
There is now only one undefeated player in the European region, and that is Donkey Kong. For the storyline, that could not have gone better. Such a close 1-1, and then Baron, at the last possible second, gets that lightning off to finish it, but just before Surge was about to take his left side tower down with another big Graveyard push. I really got to hand it to Baron there, man. He played to his own advantages, very methodical, trying to get one little swing from the Hog Rider in here or there. Reliable lightning damage, beat out Poison in the end. Baron claims victory. He will now have a positive win record at 3-2 overall and has sent Surge down in the rankings to 2-1.
One of the things you got to point out as well, game 1 was Baron mind gaming the king of mind games. You've got to take that into account. He completely outplayed Surge in game 1, got himself that nice victory. Surge came back into game 2, looking a bit shaky for Baron, and then neck and neck. We're talking 400 HP on either tower for the end of the game in overtime, and just the slightest of misplay cost you the game. One thing I wanted to point out that I did note quickly, there was this moment when Baron was going in with the Hog Rider, was about to make contact, and literally, Tombstone out of nowhere, directly in front, literally a nanosecond later, Hog would have made connection and would have ended the game a lot sooner, but the Tombstone coming out did massive value, but of course, it's now right next to the Princess Tower, so even he was going to lightning it anyway, just because he needed the win.
Spell choices from Baron were very interesting, but they definitely worked out in his favor. Surgical Goblin gave the thumbs up, but I think he's probably going to be angry with this result. Struggling to get the top 2 placement. I got to see what our hosts back on the couch think of that last match.
Oh my, wow.
Oh my
I
goodness.
don't know how to react to that. It was just so intense.
My adrenaline is so high right now.
Look at that scoreboard. Surgical Goblin moving hugely down there because that puts him with 1 loss to his name. But look at Baron with that 3-2 result. He's had the most games of any player, and he's won 3 of them, looking very strong.
He looked down on himself for losing today, but he's done what other players have not done and have not been able to do. He's defeated Surgical Goblin both times.
It was crazy.
That was insane.
He played the best I've ever seen him play.
Yeah, that was textbook, that match.
Check this
really, I mean, is this the log? That was
This
the
log
amazing.
from
The
Baron
log
is
of Tombstone and the skeletons, and that Hog Rider got through.
So good.
Prediction.
The Hog Lightning deck is just such a good play for Baron to have done.
And it's a joy to watch when it's played well like it was just then.
Baron did such a good job of picking and choosing when to use the log, predictive log, versus a predictive lightning.
Exactly.
And when Surgical Goblin changed his Tombstone location, which is a great counter right now, especially with so much Bandit in the meta, whenever he changed up that Tombstone location, Baron was ready for him. He knew it. He was 1 step ahead of the chess master,
He
right?
lightning the first time when the Tombstone was close enough to the tower. He then logged when the Tombstone was in the middle up near the river. He knew exactly what Surgical Goblin was going to do. And he also did the same in the log bait. When he played against log bait in the first game, he was using that log to clear out the Goblin barrel. And then the one time we saw a Duke barrel, he then chose to log the Goblin Gang and Princess to get a 2 for 6, and then use skeletons to catch the Duke barrel. So he did a 3 for 9 trade in that game. So he was playing out of his mind. It was crazy.
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite game so far that I've watched. I wasn't even on the edge of my seat. I was out of my seat.
Yeah, we were both out of our seat. We were going crazy for that because there was so much energy right there. Now, what I do want to see is I want to see the game-winning moment right now because that was huge to watch. Both Graveyard and Hog don't work so effectively when you're going for a second tower, but right here, that Hog.
That Hog going in, and then it brings it within lightning range, and that is Oh, so good for Baron.
The lightning log range, and he was defending a graveyard as he was attacking that tower. Whew.
There was one moment in that match, too, that Surgical, in overtime, Surgical made the decision to not go on offense. Do you remember that when he played Archer's way in the back? I think that probably was a mistake in hindsight because it allowed Baron to really just go full throttle. Just hog push, hog push, hog push. Surgical Goblin missed out on one of what could have been a lucrative push for him. So.
And that Executioner had so much value. We could talk about every single one of Baron's cards there because every one of them was used so effectively. And he was so calm, his face. He was so happy with everything he did.
That smile from Baron,
so
it just makes you want to smile too.
Even that one missed tornado play that the casters brought up there, it was actually not a bad move. He was trying to protect his tower, trying to take the tank away from the tower distraction, allowing that crown tower to target on the skeletons. Obviously, it didn't work out for him, but you can tell that Baron's really familiar with that deck. I wouldn't be surprised to see him playing that deck more often now. He was really, really good, especially the predictive plays.
Yeah.
So we saw a log bait in the first game there. We're going to be seeing hopefully more log bait because we have Adam versus, I think it's Danny? Yeah, Danny. Adam versus Danny next, okay? I'm excited for this one because these two are going to be playing to get out of that bottom area right now.
Yeah. Adam's known for his log bait. So we might see it. He might have watched this match of Baron and Surgical Goblin. He's like, it's working. I'm going to use it.
Yeah, too. Like, and we talked about this earlier, right? Yeah. Is that the thing about Adam is we have not seen Adam play log hog bait. And that's his bread and butter, man. I mean,
that's exactly what he used to get through the qualifiers.
Yeah, he used it almost the entire bracket play, and he got first in the world. You got to remember that Adam here is a really good player, but he's not playing his bread and butter. Maybe he's overthinking it, thinking that everybody's going to think he's playing that, and then he's trying to switch it up. But if I'm Adam here, I go to what I know I'm comfortable with.
So in the quarters, semis, and final of qualifier, he didn't use anything but his log bait deck. Even when it was an unfavorable matchup, he still stuck with it and won. And that's what I want to see him do. I want to see him stick to his guns and mimic what Godslayer is trying to do in NA and be like, this is my deck. I can beat any deck with this deck.
Yeah.
Hog, too. It's important.
Because his Hog is actually his favorite card.
Yeah.
So I would like to see, because Hog's been used today a bit, so perhaps it is valuable in this new meta, now that Tornado's not so effective at pulling. But one more point.
When I see Adam, when I think Adam, I think Hog. No offense to Adam, but I want to see a lot of Hog Rider from Adam, man. We got to see it.
I really want to see that from him.
And I'm going to pick him again, darn it.
So Romanian Danny versus Adam the Hog.
I'm going to have to go with Adam, too.
Trid, Woody, let's see how this goes.
This is my deck. There are many other decks like it, but this is my deck in particular, and that's going out to Adam, who obviously we know he played that log bait a lot. The log hog bait that he ran through qualifiers. Haven't seen it in top 8 yet. Just take the plunge and do it. He's in such an interesting position right now because if he wins this match, he has everything to gain from this matchup, So if he wins this, he overtakes Danny. If Danny wins this match, he stays exactly where he is. So he can knock Danny into the red because he's won the contesting matchup, right? Because at the moment, Danny's on 1-2. And we've got Adam on 0-3. He wins, he goes 1-3. Because he's beaten Danny in the head-to-head, he goes above Danny.
I see
so Danny is fighting for survival. Adam is playing for just climbing and gaining. And that's what he needs to start doing, and I want to see him start doing it.
Let's now see Adam in the arena, introduced, not in the studio with us today, but will be playing on the blue side. Lost a game to Royal earlier. The other Romanian, can he pull it back against Danny now? He plays very careful, mechanical, methodical, meticulous defense, I could even say. Started from the bottom with Danny, 0-2. Danny will be the other player that we will introduce on the right side in red. He beat Suarez in match 4, so he's trying to make it climb back toward the top. A generalist player. This match is extremely important, as you just said, Trid, in determining who's going to be in the bottom 2. If Adam gets the win here, he's got a decent shot here to climb out from that bottom position. But 0-3 right now, he's really got to get his first win if he wants a chance to be able to go into the bracket. Danny, with that 1-2, like you said, just has to hold on to his position. He's playing a defensive momentum retaining game against his opponent now. Adam on the bottom. Can he turn it around? This is, the second game, the second match that we're going to see from him today. Has he
Goblins.
got something to show us? Yeah, Giant on the left side.
Giant Nightwitch.
Big punish for Adam, trying to get some damage over here on the left. It's going to be up to Danny to set up a good defense. Nightwitch not able to take out this Giant. The bat's going down to his opponent's bat. Giant connects with the tower. We're going to see a Miner coming in as well. Chipping damage away at that Elixir Collector. Great value on that Miner. I think he got, what was that, 4 or 5 swings maybe?
4 swings on the Miner. But he took away a lot of the HP from it, and now the elixir's gone. I think Danny only got 2 elixirs worth out of that 6 elixir.
I think Adam definitely got the better edge there. Punished that pump. You know, didn't get a massive beatdown hit in there, but pulled about 400 damage off his opponent's left side tower. He'll be starting his next push-up now.
Yeah, Mega Minion on the left-hand side. Splits the golems behind that Giant. Nightwitch to be down, so I imagine Adam's going to drop a Nightwitch of his own once the Baby Dragon's been taken care of.
Oh, he might just committing to this push.
Yeah, I think he's going to concede this push here.
Mistake, I think, for Adam. He really needed to punish hard there. The fact that he just had the a Mega Minion set up now means that he's got a big push coming over toward him. Bats and the Baby Dragon to stack up on that left side Baby Dragon. Defensive Nightwitch now for Adam.
That's really
going to be able to counter here now, but he doesn't have any counter push going back. And Danny has the elixir advantage, pumping up once again to the back right. Needs to catch this Miner, though. Doesn't get it. The Miner gets 1 swing, 2 swings, 3 swing behind the tiers. Can't quite see it. Oh, my God. I don't know what that Nightwitch just did to that Miner.
The tiers at this moment as well.
The Miner was not happy about it. He's gone now. Yeah, good few swings in there for Adam.
I was confused a little bit by the Nightwitch being placed. I know it's to draw the aggro of the opponent's Nightwitch, but he didn't have any time to spawn any bats and let a push build up at all to try and have a better defense. But Nightwitch goes down. Golem on the left-hand side for Danny, so that's what he's been pumping up for now. He's got 2 of them on the field.
Very confident move from Danny. 8 elixir invested on this left side push. A Baby Dragon support means that he really thinks that he's got a chance to get that left side tower down now. Adam on defense with the Mega Minion. That's going to take the first damage from the Baby Dragon to the Ice Spirit. It goes down. Tornado on top.
No, it's not enough to stop this push.
Double Baby Dragon from Danny, burping down those goblins and trying to get some value, taking out the defensive troops Adam had set up. A defensive Mega Minion now, but the range on those Baby Dragons is
Baby Dragons are still alive.
Burping it all the way down. The goblins getting most of the damage in there. Danny claims the first tower with 30 seconds left in the game.
He's still going. He can probably go for the free crown here if Adam wants to give it to him.
I think
I was going to say if Adam wanted to give it to him, but Adam's going to play off the defense.
No, of course. Adam never gives up. Danny did pump up in that back right, so he would be well positioned for the 2-1. Defensive Baby Dragon going down now, able to take out these goblins. Adam really needed those goblins on the tower to get the win there. Yeah, Goblin's going to stab down the left side. So interesting to me that we've seen a really big resurgence in Goblin play.
Yes.
The nerf to the Goblin gang has made those 2 elixir stabby gobs just viable again, just enough to see them in the arena for both players here, and working out in Danny's favor in this game.
Yeah, massively into Danny's favor. He had a massive push that was just unanswered. We saw the Golem, double Baby Dragon, Nightwitch coming in. The Baby Dragons were untouched because the bat spawning from the Nightwitch, they were drawing all the aggro from Mega Minion and the Baby Dragon. Then the Golem was taking the aggro. Barely did any damage to him because then they switch over to Baby Dragons. They don't die, and you've got a Golem and 2 Baby Dragons just railing on a Princess Tower. It's not going to last for very long.
That was not pretty. And I love when the emote covered up that Nightwitch murdering the Miner out back. You know, something real nasty went on back there.
Taken out like old Yeller.
Got to dig him out behind the shed and put him out of his misery. There you go.
Hide him behind the tears.
Yeah, exactly. He had a good life. Got a few hits off against the Elixir Collector there. But Danny, though, with that win, he's gotten either 0-2 or 2 on all of his games so far. Same with Adam there. So if that trend continues, Adam dropping this next game would go down with Suarez into that 0-4 position and would be in a really tough spot to actually be able to break into the bracket for Phase 4. This game is so important for Adam to try to get a win in.
Let's find out if he can come back into this. It will just be a 2-game sweep. So Archer's to answer for Pump. Adam needs to commit more to this. He was so good on the first response by getting a big push out. Poison seems to be ticking away, though.
Costs 4 and it takes 5 pumps out of your opponent. Danny will have a small elixir advantage now. Let's see what he can use with that to try to counter the little damage that Adam was able to earn.
It's a subtle, nuanced response from Adam so far. Nothing. It's more of a fizzle than a bang at the moment, but that's what he needs.
Just a slow orchestral build-up. I can hear the trumpets coming in now. It's a little bit louder. Adam rolls a log through the Nightwitch and the Goblins. Looking like this Mega Minion's got a favorable matchup against the Baby Dragon, though. Will he get a chance to connect? Swipe. Wow, that's actually a really aggressive move by Adam, adding on the archers to this push. He's going to be going in for blood. Graveyard added on top, trying to punish this pump from Danny. Tornado not able to kill the archers. On the back end, the skeletons are going to go ham on this tower. Distracted by the ice golem, the tower is not able to take the skeletons down. Poison on top, the pump's going down. The tower's going down. Adam gets a tower!
And he's still going. Danny's conceded right here. He's got a good game. He knows it's over. That push was so... It looked so divisive. It didn't look like Adam was willing to commit. We're kind of like, oh yeah, he puts the archer down. Yeah, going a little bit aggressive on that one. Then Graveyard just absolutely mixed it up because everything's been committed by Danny to hold that push into place. And he's got nothing for the Graveyard. The Skeletons do serious work.
It was the second I saw those archers go down and the pump response from Danny that I was like, that is a big push coming in from Adam. He has got to make it happen right here, and he definitely did. On defense now against a big Golem Baby Dragon Night Witch push. Distracts the Night Witch with the Ice Golem, but he's got to get something to take her down. Poison and Tornado are not enough. Tower does fortunately relock onto the Night Witch for Adam. Great result for him. Bats go down to the Poison as well. Great defensive play by Adam. He's going to barely keep that tower up on the right side. Danny's got a minute to send it into rubble.
And he's got double elixir time to
Crashing
make most
down.
of it. You can see another golem being dropped right now. He's got so much elixir to play with because we're into double elixir time with busy, big, heavy decks coming out from Danny on the right-hand side. We know we got a Graveyard available from Adam when he wants to pull it out. But
Is he
he
going
needs
to
to break
tornado
the
those
creep.
troops back, you think?
He needs to break the push first.
Okay, offensive tornado from Danny there, trying to clump up all the troops, but that Golem push is dead, man. Golem might pop freeze that right side tower. He'll do his best. Give him a punch.
Rocket!
Whoa, big rocket from Danny, though. He actually might have a chance to take that right side out. We need to get another big hit, and Adam is going on the offense. Ice Golem to block. Poison in the back to take care of those goblins with the Graveyard added on top. The King Tower activated, though, makes it really hard for those Skeletons to stack up on the tower. Gets about 1,000 damage. Has Danny cycle back to the damage to get that right side off. Time is ticking out. Here comes the rocket. It's just in time. That'll take the tower out and send it into overtime. 14:04 on the right side. Danny is vulnerable now to a big attack from Adam. Ice Golem to block. Graveyard back. Log rolls through the goblins. This is a big hit. Skeletons stacking up over the right side. Adam poison on. And that tower's down. Adam ties it up. The set is now a 1-1 and will go into a tiebreaker.
1-1. Adam's coming back. He's not ready to enter that danger zone with Suarez just yet.
No, he's not going to give up. The first 1-1 draw that both of these players have had in a match so far. They are going to be duking it out, dueling for their very lives, and a drop from Adam in this next game would be devastating, but in the clutch moment, he pulled it off. He held that defense back on the right side just enough to force a rocket out of Danny. Big 6 elixir investment left him very vulnerable to that final Graveyard push. Adam finally might be showing us what he's had since the very beginning of this tournament, the skills to pay the bills and get a win. Let's send it over. Never mind, let's go right into game 3 and see if Adam will be able to continue this momentum. A 1-1 draw for these two players. Adam needs a win here to stay out of that bottom 2.
Will it be redemption for Adam, the Swede, as we continue into this game? Hog Rider coming out on the right-hand side for Danny already. Goblins will answer. His Mega Minion will take up that Ice Spirit, but a couple of swings coming for Danny, so no total loss with that loss.
I'd say that's Hog, yeah. Hog. That's a pretty fair trade, though. Danny gets 2 swings in. Adam gets a +2 elixir trade on that defense. Mega Minion, though, not looking like, oh, it gets 1 swing. Okay, fair enough. Baby Dragon at the right side does fall within tower range. Oh my god, a P.E.K.K.A. from Adam. Big, heavy play. Why is he not sticking with Logby? I don't know why he's been switching it up. So, worked well for him last game.
He's got P.E.K.K.A. against Log at the moment. It looks like it might be a Log Lightning coming out. Another Log on the left-hand side. Dark Goblin seems to be a good answer to it. Will chip away at him. Only gets the 1 swing in.
That it does. P.E.K.K.A. making her way toward that Executioner, though. Oh, great timing on the Tornado. Wow. Actually pulled the Dark Goblin in range of that right side, but the Battle Ram on the left connects with the tower. Penciltration. Danny's going to take a lot of damage on the left.
And
no
they're still
counter for the
chipping
Mega Minion.
away.
This Valkyrie can't hit air units. The Mega Minion finishes off that left side tower, adding insult to injury, is hunting the Valkyrie now.
The Baby Dragon will devour that Valkyrie before it makes contact with the tower. Yeah, you can make the sound effects.
That's the sound of a Baby Dragon.
Is that the sound?
Devouring a Valkyrie, yeah.
I want to see Big Mama Dragon.
She looks pretty tasty. That Big Mama Dragon. Oh, I don't know. Let's see here. Big Mama P.E.K.K.A.
Well, Big Mama P.E.K.K.A. will give a 2-slap to the Hog Rider. Take him out. A big skadoosh as he walks up with his Goblin companions. Executioner.
P.E.K.K.A.'s a sheep, excuse you.
Excuse me. Doesn't matter.
Assuming P.E.K.K.A.'s gender in 2017.
Semantics
wow,
at this point.
Trid.
But Lightning will take out Executioner, Valkyrie, and do a little bit of chip to the tower. The Executioner, as long as Lifeline comes in.
Lightning did get some damage off against the Executioner and that right side tower. Zap finishes it off. Defensive Mega Minion's good. Adam does take 2 swings from the Hog Rider, though. Gives Danny a little bit of an opening. Can he support this Dark Gobbo Mega Minion push? Not looking likely. Executioner, fantastic response to those big, slow Mega Minions and the light, chippy Dark Goblin there. Takes him out. Hog Rider on the left now. Why is he switching up his damage so much? Splitting lanes.
No, it's Danny's just trying to find his entrance into this matchup.
I mean, he's got to make it for himself. The arena helps those who help themselves, as we well know. Heka just struggling to reach this right side tower, getting tornadoed down. But Adam with the damage advantage,
Baby
the tower
Dragon is
advantage.
there to start doing it.
Could it actually hit the tower?
No.
Just in time. Danny's defense pulls off
I don't think
the win there. Ooh, nice pre-fire log! Gets the Dark Goblin and the Goblins. Hog Rider connects with the right side. 1-2 swings.
No, it's not enough. It's not enough for Danny to take this match. I think Adam has got this in the bag. No more pushes available for Danny. Adam is going to take this 2-1. Gets his first victory of the series and climbs out of that danger zone.
There you go, Adam. You know, I don't want to show favoritism for these players, but Adam at 0-3 underperformed really, you know, to the detriment of his standing on the leaderboard and to the dismay of his fans. But with that win there, he's climbing back up. He's starting that return to the top. You know, defeating Danny means that they're both tied down there toward the bottom of the leaderboard at that 1-3 ranking. But as you mentioned, the head-to-head matchup for Adam in his favor now means that he's got a good chance to stab back toward the top and stay in the bracket for Phase 4. Let's take a look at the replay now.
Yeah, this is
Battering
the
at the left side. This is the huge hit for Adam. Danny just apparently no elixir to counter 2 barbs and a Mega Minion over there. Tried to block the Mega Minion. I think what happened here was the Valkyrie's actually a really good counter to the Barbarian setup there, but didn't get to place her in time to block the Mega Minion, which does a ton of single target damage. Locked onto the tower. It actually has a little bit of a range there, unlike the Barbarians, which get a stab just directly at melee range. The Mega Minion can go just a little bit farther back and gets a little bit of a reach onto the tower.
Okay, well, let's see how that shakes up the scoreboard quickly. As we can see, Donkey Kong Them Sensei sitting in the better area of seeding for the semifinals. Then you got Baron, Royal, Surgical Goblin, Adam sitting comfortably in the qualified zone. But Danny and Adam, they're tied 6th for the moment, and Suarez sitting at the bottom with that 0-4, so still not looking good for him.
Donkey Kong, the only undefeated player, and Suarez, the only player without a win. There's still a lot of players kind of hovering in the center there. They've got a really decent chance to get that middle 4 placement. We actually have several players, though, who are all tied for 3rd place. They've all got that +1 win differential. Baron, Royal, Surgical Goblin are all still trying to stab up toward the top and get that top 2 placement. But at this point, Danny, Suarez, and Adam seem to be the 3 that are jockeying for position to stay out of the bottom 2 who won't make it to the bracket in Phase 4.
Okay, well, we're going to pass it over to the locker room. And we have our only undefeated player still. Had a great performance today. It's the locker room with Donkey Kong.
Salut, ça va?
Ouais, je vais très bien et toi?
Très bien, merci. So we are joined here by the Frenchman Donkey Kong. So I'm happy to have you here. You're undefeated right now.
Yeah.
How did you feel about all those games that you've won? It must be pretty good, right?
Yeah, I'm feeling really confident on my own strength. So I'm doing great right now, and I hope I will stay undefeated until the end. But
That's good. That's good. Hopeful thinking. And you have 2 tough games.
Yeah.
We can confirm today you will be playing against Surgical Goblin in that 9th matchup. So you have Surgical Goblin and Nem Sensei today. How do you feel about those 2?
yeah, I have no doubt that I will be facing Surgical Goblin because he's famous, so all people.
He's famous. Yeah, it's going to be tough games.
Yeah, I think that's the true favorite of the bracket, and yeah, I think I should go and do my best to win them.
So are you looking forward to your Surgical Goblin match over Nem Sensei?
Yeah, I think Surgical is the main favorite of our pool, so.
Of course.
DK, first of all, congratulations, man. 3-0 so far. I don't want to jinx you, though. I've been known for that. What I do want to ask you, though, is you are previously known as more of a ladder player, trophy pusher. Coming into a tournament like this, where you have the full 3 minutes to think about, it's a different kind of mentality. What adjustments did you make to your game to lead to the success that you have today?
Yeah, it's a completely different ladder and tournament play. In ladder, you don't have all max cards. For me, I don't have max cards, so I can play all decks that I want to play. But in a competition like that, you can play all decks. So, yeah, it's.
Yeah. It's a different game. What about your play style? Besides the deck choice aside, do you change anything? A little bit more conservative, a little bit more aggressive, or do you pretty much just play your game?
I like to play defensive at the beginning, so I don't take any risk, and I want to know what my opponent deck is so I can adjust myself and counter him.
That's definitely smart.
Speaking about risk, you were not thinking about playing in this tournament. You didn't want to risk going in and entering the tournament. That's where my risk reference comes in. It is very, very close to the line. But you weren't sure about playing, and then you had people convince you, right?
Yeah, at the beginning I played round 1 and 2. Round 1, and then I wasn't going to play the round 2. I thought myself, there is no way I can beat 1,000 players. So I was not going to play, and then my parents and my friends, they told me, hey, you're good at that game. Why not
awesome.
trying? So
And
I
now look
tried,
at you.
and on
Yeah.
my first attempt, I won and qualified for.
Yeah, you're top 8
First
now.
attempt, yeah, you're flawless so far. Congrats,
Yeah.
man. I have one last question for you too about specifically. You gave me some Three Musketeer lessons. You're known as a really, really good Three Musketeer player. I have a question for you, kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, right? Going against a Three Musketeer deck, which coincidentally has the highest win percentage so far in this entire CCGS. How do you counter it? Or as a Three Musketeer player, better question, what's your most difficult matchup?
I think the most difficult matchup for a Three Musketeer player is Hog, Fireball, and Tornado. But no one is playing it, so so far it's
pretty
far.
Far so good, I guess, right?
Yeah, but also PK deck. PK Lightning is a hard matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're going against, like, say, a Graveyard player or something else, as the Graveyard player, what's the best thing you can do to combat Three Musketeers? Especially split Three Musketeers is so difficult.
Yeah, you have to take early damage on their tower and then stay on defense. But if you can manage to take their tower early, it's very hard to come back because there will be splitting Three Musketeer again and again and again.
And you can put that Three Musketeer in the pocket as well, which is so
Yeah.
dangerous. You've got so much versatility once you go one tower up.
Yeah, so you heard that at home. If you're playing against a Three Musketeer deck, go a little aggressive early on, and then
They put their
defense.
pump, go for the
Yeah.
tower.
Yeah, catch them off guard before they start getting that elixir advantage.
Exactly.
So one last question for you. You've got Nem Sensei later on and Surgical Goblin. Are you going to win them?
I will do my best, and I'm confident on myself, so I think I can do it.
He's unbeatable.
He's unbeatable. There we go. So thank you very much. You've given a real insight into Three Musketeers, what it's like playing in a tournament, and also just how happy you are to be here because you didn't expect to come here in the first place. And the support from your family and friends is great. So have you got any shout-outs for the people who've
Yeah, I
back you?
want to dedicate my victories to my family, my friends, my teammates on Hammers, and all the previous clan where I was, like Elite Gaming or France All Star. They helped me a lot, so thanks to all of them.
That's great. Thank you very much, Duncan. Oh,
we
wait,
all
one
do
last
a-
point. Yeah.
can we all do a
Can we do a
DK to
DK
send it off?
before the casters?
Okay.
Let's go. Ooh.
And then hands up.
And hands up. So Trid and Woody, take it away for the next one.
A little bit out of sync there, but I'll give you an A for effort on that one. There you go, Woody.
Did I get there in time? Did I do it?
No, yeah, you were about as in time as Ash was.
Okay.
So good. Awesome. So anyway, we're going into game 6. It's going to be an excellent matchup, I feel, because it's around that bottom area of the leaderboard yet again.
Well, hang on. You know, Royale was 1-1 going in to the day today, but he picked up a win first off. That win is trying to build the momentum. He actually is ranked number 3. If you take a look at the leaderboard, he's got a +1 differential. Royale is going to be actually having a chance to stab toward the top 2. If he can claim another win here, he'll have a +2 differential, which will rank him the same as Nem Sensei, whom we've been talking about for so long. It's one of the best players in this region. Let's head over to the arena now. We're first going to be introducing Royale, of course. With that win on the second match, he is hot today, fellas. Royale is going to be making another attempt to get that 3rd win, and yeah, I'm really interested to see if he's going to come back again with those big Golem Graveyard beatdown decks, or if he'll play a little bit more nimbly. Suarez, on the other hand, joining us in the arena, lost matches 1 and 4. Big suffering defeats, sending him down to the very bottom of the leaderboard at 0-4 right now. Needs a win here to be able to have a chance to join his fellow competitors in the bracket. But something I really want to note here, even though Suarez is on a losing streak and Royal is on now on a win streak, Suarez actually beat Royal in phase 2 to claim his spot in the round robin here today. So Royal and Suarez have history together. Suarez has beaten Royal. Royal on the upswing, though, and Suarez on the bottom. Will that be reversed now, or will those trajectories continue? Only time will tell as we jump into game 1 for the 7th match.
I certainly hope it does get reversed, because the problem is if Suarez goes 0-5, I don't see him qualifying for phase 4 whatsoever. I think that's a deficit you cannot meet.
I gotta agree with you there. You know, for Royal, he's fighting to get an even better spot, trying to get into the top 2. He's pretty much solidified his position in the middle 4, though, with a 2-1 record. Suarez is do or die at this point. You drop this match, and you've got nothing left to hope for. I guess just hoping that Adam and Danny also go on losing streaks, and that you can somehow turn around again 2-5.
I really hope that Suarez is listening to Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins right now, because that's exactly where he is. Right. But anyway, back into the game.
That was really good beatboxing, right?
Yeah, really good.
Okay.
Your talent. Don't quit your day job.
Oh, okay. What is my day job at this point?
You talk about video games.
Yes, I do. I try to sing, though. Well, anyways, yeah. Here, take it away.
Doesn't matter. Nightwish on the right-hand side. Lightning comes out preemptively to try and clear out what they can. Execution does take a couple of tippy-tappies from the Lightning, but Baby Dragon will get dunked before it can do anything to the tower.
Yeah, even trades. Log rolls through the right side. Saw the Baby Dragon. He figures, this is not going to be a log bait deck. Royal spins the 2 elixir. Whoa, hold on, though. Might have wanted to hang on to that log because he's got a Dark Goblin and a Battle Ram coming to the left side. Spent 7 elixir on defense. That's just as much as Suarez spent on the attack. Barb didn't get a swing there. Royal takes the advantage from that trade.
But Graveyard on the left-hand side. Baby Dragon above it to try and do some AoE, but he can't get all of them at the same time. Zap comes out to help the reinforcements, but still some good damage coming out here for Royal on Suarez's tower.
Zap out. Suarez had to spend a lot of elixir, and Royal actually got a great little connection over on that left side. Just about 700 damage to start with here. Cheap 1 elixir Ice Spirit to distract the Baby Dragon, buy that tower a little bit more time to shoot it down before it can do too much damage. Royal with the advantage now, going to roll a log in through once again. Suarez going to try to punish on the opposite lane. Battle Ram.
Nightwitch into Battle Ram.
Not supported by a Dark Goblin this time, though. Yep, gets the double tap, and the Battle Ram goes down. Doesn't even look like those barbs are going to be able to... Oh, I guess they do finish off that.
I think that's the problem with Nightwitch into the Battle Ram is, you can stop it. 2 hits, takes out the Battle Ram part of it. Then you got the barbs. Yes, the bats can deal damage, but there's nothing to draw the aggro as Bandit draws onto the left-hand side. Will run into that Executioner. Lightning will kick the
Dash,
1 hit.
amazing for Suarez. Lightning hits the tower and the Executioner. Great early lead by Suarez now as we go into double elixir time. Left side brought down to triple digits. Here's a Baby Dragon to soak. For the tower, though, doesn't quite get there in time. The tower's actually shooting at the skeletons. Look at that. Dark Goblin helping out. That Graveyard in the back is not going to get very much damage, and as the Baby Dragons will trade at the bridge.
Yeah, Poison Dark Goblin was a great resistance there to that Graveyard. Make sure it's cleaned up. No damage being done to the tower. Battle Ram onto the right-hand side. Nightwitch is in range for the melee. 1 more tap will do it. This is the problem. Barbs can just kill the Nightwitch now. The bats aren't going to help tank it, but guess what? There was enough damage to clear him out as Dark Goblin is helping the Baby Dragon on the left-hand side with this push.
Executioner on that left side to defend against the Bandit. She really gave her the business, if you know what I mean. Left side, Bandit gets the dash
gets
the tower,
out Tornado!
Though. Big hits, misses with the Tornado. Royal gets the oops. On the left side, though, he's got a big attack. It's the Graveyard.
Battle Ram coming in.
It's down to 228 now. That is within poison range. Royal,
for the tower!
Finish it off. Arms on the tower, though. Gotta freeze it. Ice Spirit catches it. Poison will finish it off, but the Lightning is quicker. Lightning, fast reaction time. Log cannot roll in quickly enough. Suarez gets the win. There you go.
The log was a fraction of a second too late to equalize and force this to go to a 2-crown game.
No. So close there, but Suarez was so lightning fast, knew he had to seal the deal, claim that victory immediately, or it was going to go into a brutal overtime. Now, he might have had the advantage against the Graveyard deck with that King Tower activated, but why would you want to play another 2 minutes where you might lose if you can just claim victory right there? Lightning's a big elixir spell. Didn't leave him much to play with on defense, but just 78 hit points left. Log couldn't finish it off. That Baby Dragon did so much work.
Look at this. Like, this is the pit where the Barbarians split and start doing aggro. Forces some defense out from Royal to try and keep things alive, but he just needs to drop the Lightning on this to take the win. And you can see the log, 1 second. Just needed that extra second, and he would have stayed in this matchup.
Could have gotten it, but just a little bit short. You really got to hand it to Suarez, though. when he knew he had to drop the card, he got it in there as soon as he possibly could. Really kind of unlucky skeleton spawns in the back end from that graveyard. Might have been able to take it down if they had swarmed and surrounded the tower, but unable to pull it off. Royal is now at a 0-1 deficit in this best of 3. Suarez making a stab back toward the top and trying to repeat his win in phase 2 with a win in phase 3 now against Royal.
Yeah, Ice Spirit coming on to the right-hand side. Skeleton's just being used, just trying to burn stuff, as usual, without showing their hand. Dark Goblin is in that odd position now. He's going to go left-hand lane, but deal with the right preemptively. Baby Dragon will clear it up, though.
There it goes. Burps down the Dark Goblin. Within range of the tower now. Good timing and placement from Suarez with that Baby Dragon. It'll go in for a little bit of a counterattack. Ooh, a Bandit out the right side, trying to catch this right side tower.
Oh, Executioner there for the answer.
Giving her the business yet again. Straight up in front. Bandit does not get a chance to dash away. Weakened troops to Royal. Distracted by this battle ram now. That's going to be a nice 4-for-9 trade on the back end.
Is he going to make it to tower?
No,
Log will delay.
Log rolls through.
Now the Barbs need an answer.
Look
Ice
at that
Spirit
bat
will be
up
there.
top, though. I love that bat. That bat is actually really great value for Suarez there. Stabbing down those Barbarians. All he had to play was another Ice Spirit to keep him distracted and off the tower. Nicely done there.
Yep, Pekka coming down on the right-hand side for Suarez. Will start trotting down the field, and Baby Dragon going to be the answer so far, but there's got to be something else to combo here with this Pekka, because you're using it to push, or you're not using it to take down a tankier push from your opponent. So Baby Dragon's going to be dealing with it. Night Witch is there as well. Pekka's not going to be distracted by the bat, but the Tornado will definitely keep things locked up a little bit longer.
There she goes. Does she get the hit off the Night Witch? No, she doesn't. It's going to be the Baby Dragon to finish her off. Defense up the left side, it's going to be an Ice Spirit and Baby Dragon to finish off this Battle Ram. 5-for-4 trade, but the Battle Ram cannot hit the Baby Dragon up top. That could be an opportunity for Royal to hit on the left side.
Barbs
Yeah,
can hit that tower.
it'll swing away the tower a little bit. A little bit of chip damage at the right side as well for Suarez. I think he's a little bit more worried about a full health Baby Dragon coming towards tower. Soaking damage for a Graveyard spell in the back. Their skeletons are starting to stack up.
Bandit.
Nice surround there.
Bandit
Forces the
makes
zap out.
contact.
Wow, yeah, Bandit gets the dash out the right side. Bringing it down to 1335. Royal taking damage on the right, and Suarez not taking too much damage on the left. Has got the lead once again against his opponent Royal, who's been doing very well in the tournament. Seems like just once again we've got a weird matchup where Royal is doing very well. Suarez not so hot, but Suarez has just got Royal's number, man. He has got his opponent figured out, and just time after time is getting the perfect reaction times, perfect drops.
Bandit on the right-hand side.
Lucky
Lego
hits from the
answers
Bandit.
again.
No, there's gotta give another execution in there. Once again, give her the business, Executioner.
Yeah, but
Swing
now that Executioner
ass.
will get one tap by that Pekka. There's no way he has the HP to survive that very long. Bop, and there you go. Pekka starts to trot. Pekka just starting to trot down onto the right-hand side. Ice Spirit will delay. This Graveyard not getting much impact on because the Dark Goblin is having such good clearance with the Pekka relatively unanswered until that Tornado comes into play. Baby Dragon's going to do it, but guess what? Dark Goblin's got some news for you.
Hang
Lightning
on.
comes
Pekka
out.
needs to
Get
respond.
the one tap.
90.
One tap.
Oh my God, the Night Witch. Oh, just a few more hit points. Not able to be one shot there. Night Witch actually is relatively tanky. Look at that. She soaked a hit from the Pekka. That
Not many
could have been
people
real
can do that.
devastating.
Not many people can do
Oh
that.
man, I don't think I could.
And here we go. Concentration, looking for it. Bandit right behind. I love concentration. It's good.
Yeah.
Good term.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like a pencil. You see the battle ram?
Yeah.
It's just these two dudes holding the big, pointy thing. I don't know, big old log.
Excuse me.
You know what I'm talking about.
But Pekka will go ahead and bot the Executioner again. Night Witch will tank the 2 shots, as we
Hey,
already
give
know.
that Baby Dragon credit out the right side. Right it down to 16-10. Royal can split lanes now. Choose to go on the left or the right. Committing to the left right now, though.
He needs to put pressure on the right.
That
though, 'cause that's
Executioner was a
his
mistake.
side.
He's not there to
Bandit-
give the business to that Bandit on the right side.
The Tornado
Tornado's going
is
to come
there.
in. He needs another troop, though. That dash from the Bandit would be devastating for the right side tower.
Night Witch was there to collapse it though. But
Executioner on the left.
Suarez needs to keep the pressure
Oh
on
no, that
the
Executioner
right.
a little early.
Wait, Dark Goblin's distracted by the Executioner.
Yes,
The
it
Skeleton
is.
might start doing work.
Ooh, defense up the left side is pretty good, though. Suarez not taking too much damage. Dark Goblin's definitely the MVP in Suarez's deck.
Here you go, Bandit's going to trot down the left-hand lane. Baby Dragon does some more work on that right-hand side. The dash goes straight for the Executioner in the center of the field, though.
business. Take it out. One swing onto the battle ram as well. Freeze it with the Ice Spirit and the Night Witch is going to be able to take him down.
There you go. Bandit does connect on the
Wait, hold
left-hand
on.
side, though.
That
Underneath
Barbarian,
Baby
though.
Dragon.
The Barbarian gets 2 swings off. Royal, you should have just played the log onto both of those troops. A little greedy trying to hit the tower as well.
Look at this. Now Suarez is split, but he's got a greater HP advantage across both towers because that Bandit connecting got some serious alone
Executioner,
time
though.
with the tower. The Executioner getting so much value being able to hit both lanes at the moment. Great
Big
on the
attack from
right-hand side.
Royal. Not worried about this left side attack at all. Is going really hard over on the right side. Ice Spirit to freeze. That Battle Ram needs a little bit more to finish it off, though. Baby Dragon comes in, but it's not going to be able to soak the Barbarians. You need another triple on the
Royal's still
side.
going at
Wad
it.
rolls it off with the right side. It's a big hit for Royal. Brings it down to 646. Oh my God, 1 minute left in overtime. This is probably the deepest game that we've seen all day. I can't imagine
All season,
this going
I
any
think.
closer. All season, yeah, 52 seconds left as Royal, a little bit behind in damage, is trying to get the upset win over Suarez, who got the first win in the set. 40 seconds left now. Baby Dragon and Executioner almost trade. The Executioner actually survives that exchange over on the right side. Baby Dragon to soak for the tower. Bandit on defense.
Bandit's not enough. It's
No,
single
it's
target.
not. We need something else from Suarez to block
Dark
these
Goblin in the
goblins.
back right corner.
There
Lock
it
came in.
goes.
Zap is there. Baby Dragon just needs one hit. Poison on
Poison
the
is
tower.
enough. That'll
Royal's
do
gonna
it.
equalize.
Royal takes the win. Ties up the set 1-1 against Suarez.
Royal with the equalizer. He's not ready to go down just yet. I think he wants to send Suarez to that 0-5 dark place.
Is there an onomatopoeia that you could give us to represent the type of attack that Royal did on that right side? Would it be maybe a bop?
A bop, yeah.
I like that. He was getting lots of bops over there on the right side.
Big old bopper.
Bopped it down. The big bopper speaking here. We have got a tied up match 7 now. Or was that match 8 or was that match 7?
That was match 7.
Yes, it was indeed. 1-1. I think that we've got to dig deeper into this. I'm really interested to see who's going to get the win. What do you think about this, Trid?
Part of me wants Suarez to come back into this, right? Get himself a victory, so he's now 1-4.
He needs it.
He definitely needs it. Part of me also wants to, just because I'm a little bit of a masochist, I just want to see him go like 0-5. Just, I think that'd be kind of funny. Like,
Oh, what kind of decks is he going to play if he's 0-5? If he doesn't even think he's got a chance to go back up.
but that's the thing. When you know you can't get back into it, you might troll a little bit, but you might see some humorous decks coming out. Something you wouldn't be prepared to try. But there's the graveyard we'd already talked about. He had Dark Goblin to attack, but Dark Goblin's going to get eroded by the poison. The Baby Dragon nearly gets the AoE strike, but the lingering poison gets the tick and finishes it off.
I feel like the Dark Goblin was Suarez's spirit troop there. He's like in the corner doing his best to like take down all these skeletons that are coming at him, but the poison, just early, easy, reliable damage that was ticking away at that right side. The thing that I really loved about that game, though, was that we saw gameplay on all 4 corners of the arena. All the towers were taking damage. It was all about managing that elixir, getting just enough to pull off the defense against your opponent while being able to drill in back hard. 1-1 drawn out. Who learned their lesson and will be able to edge out the win here? You know, I think that Suarez did tell us that he likes to play very defensively. He likes to play very big and slow decks. On the opposite end, Royal is a quick learner. He's very patient. Let's see if he's going to be able to keep that mentality and get another win here.
One can only hope. Ice Spirits to Skelly's neutral trade. It's a null-sum trade. Doesn't do anything for anyone.
No sum. I like that.
Null-sum or zero-sum trade. Just didn't do anything.
0 sum.
Zero-sum.
Both players.
That's mathematics, my good
elixir
sir.
now. Oh, yes. I need to learn about mathematics. I couldn't pull the transitive property thing out quickly enough. Probably should go back. My geometry teacher is crying right now. I hope she's not watching
There's a
this.
cycle of emotes coming out from Royal, and no one else is cycling anything else.
Royal spending so much time on these emote cycles. What is Suarez going to do? He's just staring at a screen.
He's going to drop a bandit. That's what he's going to do.
He got it out of him. Nightwitch to defend. That is an advantage for Royal. She'll finish off that bandit and go in for a little bit of a counterattack here now. I guess it was a 3-4 trade in Suarez's favor, though. No damage on the tower. Dark Goblin on the right gets locked down.
Very nice. Log damage will be the only real damage on tower so far.
Ooh,
Very
big
patient.
fireworks
They're-
going off in the first minute here.
Yeah, well, they're waiting for double elixir time, I feel. As soon as double elixir time hits, that's when the real show will begin. Question is, what are they running? Because typically when they do this stall, it's going to be beat down.
I think it's the same deck that we
Yeah.
saw last time. We saw a bandit and a Dark Goblin already out of Suarez. I bet he's got P.E.K.K.A. in here once again.
Yes, I think he's going to go for the P.E.K.K.A. try and support that. But what's Royal got this time? And that's the real question. Is he going to run a Golem
Nightwitch
beatdown?
and Log.
Nightwitch
yeah, what
Log?
could that mean?
Giant Nightwitch maybe? And just go for a really heavy push?
Could also be just kind of like a graveyard cycle-y type deck. Could even be something as big and beefy as a Golem. You know, I feel like it's a little bit unlikely seeing the Log
Yeah.
out there, but these players have been bringing
Right,
really
6
crazy
seconds,
decks
here we go.
for the the entire time. Okay,
Right.
P.E.K.K.A. out the left side for Suarez. You know, you really don't want to play that P.E.K.K.A. unless you see a big tank. I understand why he wanted to wait
Giant
until
on the
double
right-hand
extra time.
side.
This is
Wrong
really
lane for the
bad for
P.E.K.K.A.
Suarez. The wrong lane and a big attack from Royal, trying to punish that. Big P.E.K.K.A. out the left side, distraction from the Dark Goblin, but cannot pull away that big old giant. Bandit trying to take it down, but the greatest lightning I have seen so
Royal's
far
got it.
today.
It's over.
Royal took the entire tower with that lightning. Big crucial misplay from Suarez, sitting the Pekka on the left
He's got a
side.
Pekka of his
It's a
own!
Pekka. It's a Pekka duel on the left side. Big bodies. Battle Ram actually gets the connection in there. Nicely done. Log rolls
But look
through.
at the right side. He's nearly got the free crown. He just needs 500 HP on that. And Royal
Thanks to
takes the
Royal.
game.
And Tears, he's not in the arena to show these tears to his opponent. Send him in the game.
Wow,
The
BM
of
from
the
Royal.
whole day. Wow.
She's
just
still
needs to
going.
hold on for 2
Banks,
seconds.
Crying. He just
Oh,
won't.
man.
Whoa! Anyway, we're back into the game. Royal has there taken a 2-1 victory over Suarez. We'll send him back for the 0-5 on the leaderboard. Enough of that, Woody. We've seen enough. We've seen enough. Stop it, man. He's already dead.
He's already dead. Stop beating him down. The
But
win
wow.
there, yeah, for Royal.
That was. I
Gives
feel,
him a chance to go for the top 2 now. He's got
Exactly.
a 3-2 record. That's pretty good.
I feel like those matchups are when you have that 2-minute delay double elixir time. It's a coin flip, right? Because you've said to me many times before, you wait for that if you think you'll only play earlier if you think what you've got is better than your opponent's. When
Right.
you're in the dark like that, it is an entire 50-50. Royal came out on top on that one though, because Suarez, well, he drops the Pekka in the wrong lane.
I don't know why he did that. He knew he was waiting for double elixir time. He knew he had to build up a big push. Pekka is like the one card that you do not want to play in the wrong lane. 7 elixir to try to counter a big push coming in, but there was nothing on that lane. The Giant punches that tower down. A fantastic lightning from Danny really proves that he has got the chops to make that stab toward the top. 3-1 now and tied with Nim Sensei in that number 2 position. Royal really picked it up there, and he's certainly got a personality. I can't wait for him to show up in the arena and see what he's got to share with us.
All right, well, we'll throw it back to the locker room to break down that game a little bit further.
I was gasping so much at Royal there. When he put that Pekka down, that was such a surprise. They said that Royal's a fast learner. He pretty much formed a deck to counter that Pekka deck.
Yeah, I mean, great plays from Suarez. I'm glad he's pulling himself together, at least.
But just not able to take the
But
match
just
win.
not able.
How,
no.
yeah, how about this rivalry we got brewing here?
Yeah.
I think we got a big rivalry. The thing about it is I was wondering when we saw the BM at the end of the match, because I want to talk about the salacious stuff, right? I mean,
Yeah,
we
crying
see in the
face.
replay some Pekka on Pekka action there, but getting to the ending there, we got to talk about it, right? We got to talk about the elephant in the room.
To talk about it.
That crying face.
All right, so there was BM spam, and I'm sure everybody in their hearts was like, dude, Suarez, give him something. He's not there. Would he be BMing if he was here? I don't know.
I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Because Suarez can't
We'll
do
see,
it
though.
in game, so
Yeah,
it was
he's gonna be
a psychological beat by Royal there. So Suarez is already pretty down because he's had a really rough time. He's had so many close games. He's now at the bottom of the leaderboard, and it's going to be very tough
Sure,
to
it's
get out of the
frustrating
red.
for him.
Here's the thing, right? I got to go back to the BMing, and I got to go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You like the BM.
I'm
well,
sorry.
I don't know if you like it.
I don't like
you
the
don't
BM.
like the BM.
I don't like the BMing when you're not here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to BM when you're at home, sitting in your couch, in
you
your
just
bed,
won.
with your AC on. But, Suarez is here, and he's in front of the camera. He has the spotlight on him. I was not a fan of that. I commend Suarez.
Yeah, so Suarez is at the bottom, unfortunately for him, and he's not in a very strong position, even though he's looked really strong in some of his games. So that's the toughest thing right now for Suarez, is he's been in front of the camera,
it's
as
tough.
you said, and now he's there with the 5-0 loss to win deficit.
Getting back to the match, though, seriously, the big mistake is we saw that long stalemate, right? And Suarez, Royal just waited him out, right? Suarez dropped the Pekka, and as soon as that Pekka was dropped, it was attack the other lane. That was his big counter to the beatdown. He should not have played that Pekka, unfortunately,
Yeah, and that's a very valid point. They both waited till the end, so the likelihood was that Royal had a big, heavy tank in there somewhere. In fact, he had
Exactly.
2.
Yes.
He had a giant and a Pekka. I don't think we've ever seen
giant
that
Pekka deck.
in CCGS.
Giant Pekka, is that okay to say on television?
A giant Pekka. We know that Trid has a giant Pekka and Woody has a mini Pekka, but we won't.
Sure.
That's been covered.
That's been covered in previous episodes, but that's the first giant Pekka we've seen.
Yeah.
I've never seen a giant P.E.K.K.A. ever in my life, but we
I
saw
mean, the
one.
P.E.K.K.A. versus P.E.K.K.A. during that match was
Oh,
pretty
and
interesting
with
to see.
with the ice spirit to stop the other
Yeah.
P.E.K.K.A. But anyway, we've spoken about that game enough. Unfortunately for Suarez, that
What a
does
game.
put him lower down. Royal looking quite strong. But we do have match 8, the featured match of today, Nem Sensei versus Donkey Kong. This is going to be
This is going to
incredibly
be a good
hype.
one. I mean, Donkey Kong hasn't been defeated yet, but we know Nim Sensei and we know his versatility. He had the most decks played last week.
Yeah, and it's his first match
He can
today.
adapt to anything. He's shown that. So it's very exciting to see this.
I tell you what, guys, I am going all in on Donkey Kong.
Yeah?
You reckon? Well, so let's just talk about that. Mika, who do you think is going to take this game?
You know, I don't want to abandon Nim Sensei. He was my favorite last week, so I'm going to have to say Nim Sensei. This might be the first loss we see from Donkey Kong, and I'm hoping it's from Nim Sensei.
I'm exactly the opposite. I think that I'm really hoping for Donkey Kong, and I think Donkey Kong's going to win. I don't know. I just like DK. You know, maybe it was a little chat. Maybe he gave my clan a little shout out. I don't know. No, seriously.
little biased.
I think that Donkey Kong, he was my dark horse going into this thing. If you remember from week 1,
Yeah,
I
you
predicted
did call
DK
that.
doing well. He's number 1 right now. I look for him to stay dominant here. I look for him to pick up a big W.
Okay, so I'm going to say what I want to say about Donkey Kong in French, okay? Maintenant, il est mon ami, which means now he is my friend. And for that, I'm going to vote for Donkey Kong because I like the guy. He was really cool on the couch, and I got to speak French, and I never thought I'd be able to do that. So Donkey Kong's my boy, and I'm proud of him for coming here and putting his effort into this competition where he was skeptical of it at first.
Right. I'm glad his family and friends convinced him, because
Yeah.
now we have such great plays from Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah, Donkey Kong too. He's shown, he's proven
Yeah,
that he can play. He can also play a variety of decks. You know,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people coming into this tournament, they thought he was kind of a one-trick pony. You know,
Right.
3 Musketeer, 3 Musketeer, 3 Musketeer. But he's won with a lot. He won with Golem week 1, a big Golem
Right.
heavy beatdown deck. Donkey Kong, man, I'm all in. Donkey Kong and Adam. And
Those are
Surgical.
your- those are your
and
two-
Royal and
three,
Baron.
four,
Baron and
five,
Suarez.
six, seven.
Yeah.
So we got Donkey Kong now against Nem Sensei. Later on, we got him against Surgical Goblin. So this is going to be a really interesting 2 matches right now. So
Yes.
over to Trid and Woody for this Battle of the Better celebration.
It's the Donkey Kong back-to-back matchup against 2 of the toughest opponents we expect him to find in our top 8. So, first up, he's going to take the first stage of the gauntlet, Nem Sensei. Second stage, Surgical Goblin coming up right after that. I reckon if he beats Nem Sensei today, he'll then take Surge on momentum.
I can't believe these fair weather fans over on the couch. They were just drawn in by DK's charm. They're just so convinced that he's going to win now. He's the only undefeated player in Europe, right? So he's got to be able to beat Nim Sensei, right? Are you kidding me? Nim Sensei is a monster. 3-1 right now, and his only loss was to Surgical Goblin, who many players considered to be the best in the region. Nim Sensei has definitely got a great opportunity to get a win here. He's definitely got the style points. Remember him coming out with the sunglasses, thumbs up in the air. Nim Sensei, I got to give it to him, man. He was an ESWC finalist. He's at the very top right now, just behind Donkey Kong. But hey, whoever wins this matchup will be in the #1 position. Donkey Kong holds it right now, but Nem Sensei is one of the only players that can challenge him for supremacy. Nem Sensei not joining us in the arena, but knowing back home that this matchup is very important. He's seen Donkey Kong already win twice today. Maybe he's got the edge against his opponent, you know, in a comfortable setting, having studied those decks. He could be very well positioned to get the win here, but Donkey Kong looking confident, not beating his chest just yet. He'll wait for the win to share that with the crowd again. But the Frenchman here up against his fellow patriotic Frenchman as well, Nim Sensei. You know, I think that's something that's very interesting about this particular matchup is that Donkey Kong describes himself as being very patriotic. He wants to win for France and you know, deliver the killing blow there. But against a fellow countryman, will he really have the drive to get that win? He will?
Yes, he
Okay.
definitely will. In the same reason I wanted Suarez to go 0-5, there's the same reason I want Donkey Kong to go 5-0.
Okay.
Because if he beats Nem Sensei and Surgical Goblin, not only does he beat Nem Sensei's record, because that's what Nem Sensei's fighting for here.
Yeah.
His 3-0 record, basically. He then goes 4-0, so he's beaten Nem Sensei not only in match, but in record. Beats Surgical Goblin. He sets an impossible precedent that cannot be matched of a 5-0 victory, and basically guarantees himself preferential seeding going into phase 4.
But look, Donkey Kong's wins were against Danny and Suarez at the very bottom of the bracket. He also beat Baron, so, you know, credit to him.
Who beat Surgical Goblin.
Who beat Surgical Goblin? Yeah, I get that. But Donkey Kong has not had some of the most difficult matchups just yet. He's moving in hard with the battle ram at the right side, though. Gets the connection on the tower. A dash from the Bandit coming in a little bit too late. Penciltration brings it down to 2042, while the Mega Minion flying up top to protect this Bandit. Ooh,
Oh,
Fireball
Fireball
coming
clear,
in
man,
quick
nice.
as well. Yeah, aggressive play there by Nim Sensei, getting that tower damage in, finishing off the Dark Goblin, but it's a 4-for-3 trade. Just going to soak probably about 100 damage from the Spear Goblin coming in over on the right side. Oh, no, 50 damage, excuse me.
There we are. 1952 left, and that's Baby Dragon begins its
Sensei
aerial
looking to
assault.
switch sides here with the Witch out on the left. Excuse me? She's summoning skeletons.
Wait,
That
Day
is not
Witch?
the Night Witch. That's
That's not
Day
a Night Witch.
Minions at the right side. Not going to let this battle ram connect. Just barely. Only able to draw one Barbarian back, though. The one on the tower did get 2 hits in. Weakened troops on the right side, though. Donkey Kong probably needs to spend a little bit of elixir, or he's going to take the dash. Oh, soaks it and brought down to 1825.
Yeah,
Looks
HP
like the
advantage.
right lane will be the preferred
Yeah, it's
lane
got to be
play.
the focus point at the moment, because that's where both the HP advantages lie at the moment. Donkey Kong obviously done a little bit of damage to Nim Sensei, and that's where most of Nim Sensei's damage has been done as well. So right lane focus, maybe the left for a fake out or a bait at some point, but like I said, right hand side, that's where all the action is going to be.
Stabgop gets his hit off with the lightning, taking out the Tower
Giant
Witch
with the
and the
bridge?
Mega Minion. Yeah, aggressive play by Nim Sensei. What can he support this giant with?
Nothing.
Nothing, it seems, but Donkey Kong is out of elixir.
Oh,
Oh,
Pekka!
hold on, I take it back. Pekka at the tower is going to be able to chop him down. He gets a few hits off, though, bringing the tower down to 1192. 1 hit from the Ice Spirit as well. Adding on top, Minions will get a little bit of nice chip damage off against the Pekka. Still going to need to counter it somehow, though.
Mega Minion as well will just beat him as he tries to
Great
get
choice.
through.
3 elixirs flying up top. You know, it's
Double
going
elixir
to
time.
take that Dark Goblin out. Bandit dashes it down, though. She's light and nimble. Finished off the Pekka. Beaten on those Barbarians in the back end, though.
Barbs needs a distraction. They can't be allowed to do that for free. Zap. Well, getting a surge of electricity for your body is pretty distracting, I can imagine. So, same logic still applies as the minions will descend onto the Baby Dragon. That's an easy matchup for the Dragon.
Fly, my pretties! That's what the Witch says to the minions.
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, exactly. Right side's going to be a defensive Mega Minion, though. Nice catch. 3-for-5 trade in Sensei's favor. And the blue player will have to defend against another Battle Ram push coming on in. Witch again to defend. Splash damage can't quite do too much.
Lightning coming
and
out
a
from Donkey Kong.
fantastic lightning from DK. Feels like since they forgot lightning was in his opponent's deck, he really gave him great value.
Pekka
on that
again for the
hit.
answer for the Giant. Ice
And
Spirit
he can
will
Ice
buy
Spirit
him
off
more
the
time.
minions, so that's good. But no tower damage for the Giant. Need another, I feel like Mega Minion Fireball on that Dark Goblin actually could have been pretty good value there. Oh, he's going to play it on the back end.
Oh, it misses the Battle Ram.
Ice Spirit and Zap catches it, though.
Yeah.
Okay, just get it down. A little bit more damage. Don't get hit on this
No.
back inside.
But the Goblins run through.
Oh, my God. Finally gets to the Bandit, but coming in really late. She will not survive.
Couple of chips
Spear
from the
Goblins.
Spears.
Hey, nice. Yeah, about 200 damage over there on the right side.
He
Good-
could
good- good
cycle
hits.
round through this lightning and get the victory if he really needed
Two
to.
more lightnings. Oh, this is a perfect lightning opportunity. Donkey
Yeah.
Kong, send it in, kill that Mega Minion. No, he's gonna wait for the Witch. Okay, Witch played far up front. Nim Sensei doing his
There's the
best to
Giant
avoid
as well
getting
on the
lightning
bridge.
down.
Pekka at the bridge as well. He doesn't want to lose any ground on this one.
The package is chopping this Giant to pieces, though. Carve him up and serve him for dinner. It's a giant ham sandwich. I don't know, man.
Giant ham sandwich.
Pekka is a chef extraordinaire. Here comes in, I'm pretty sure we're about to see a lightning over here. Battle Ram reaches the
David
tower,
Bob's
though.
runs to the
Don't
tower as
even
well.
need to get to the
One
lightning.
Bob.
Finishes it off with the Barb's Battle Ram hit on the right side. Donkey Kong smiling.
Satisfied smile, I think.
Oh, yes. For a job well done.
That's not even French. What are you doing?
It's just a dignified acknowledgement of his performance.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, took a big hit over there on the right side from that Giant, but just consistent lightning hits, Pekkas to block every other future Giant that came in, gave DK the edge there. He committed a lot of elixir to send those spells in for that tower damage to kill the Witch, but being able to take out Witch, Mega Minion, and getting that tower damage, it's got to be value, man. You got to take that opportunity. I was worried he wasn't going to have enough elixir to be able to counter the Giant that was walking in, but there's plenty of time. That big lumbering oaf can't reach the tower quick enough.
You've got to.
Pekka's a great response.
You've got Pekka as the perfect response to Giant
Yeah.
in that case, because you've got something to build around a counter push and force more elixir investment from your opponent when you encroach onto their side of the territory.
Thinking with his Pekka, Donkey Kong pulls off the defense.
Usually a downside.
Let's see if he gets the same victory here over Nim Sensei. Man, I was cheering for Nim Sensei. I'm hoping this goes to a 1-1 draw at least. I want to see a tiebreaker match.
So, elixir being dropped for Donkey Kong could be the rumblings of his free Muskies deck that we know he loves to run.
Okay, Mega Minion flying up top, and a Giant on top trying to
Yeah,
punch this
punish.
hard.
Goblin's in the back. That's not a whole lot to defend with.
That a
Archers
nice
and the
witch
Mega Minion
behind it as
swipe
well.
him
This is a
down.
huge push for Nem Sensei.
coming in way late with the Three Musketeers. That is just too much
over.
damage. It's over. The tower's down. First hit. Nem Sensei takes an advantage. Can he get these Muskies out, though? We need a Fireball. Does he have Fireball again? Oh my God, does he have Fireball? He needs something to take out these Muskies. Low on Elixir. Nem Sensei, what is he doing? He's just going to drop
Three
his
Muskies
tower.
battle ramp. What is going on?
Just drop his tower.
What have both of these guys done? They've just conceded
I
towers?
have no idea.
Oh my God.
Lost his Baby Dragon now.
Oh,
Donkey Kong
there's so
threatening
much
the three
on the right
crown.
side.
Bandit on the tower. Two Muskies helping out.
No, he's getting the
Goblin's
three
on top.
crown. He's done it.
Nem Sensei's got no defense. What just happened, Trid?
People just switched off their brains for like 30 to 40 seconds on both sides. Lost the tower, and like Donkey Kong was like, you know what? Here comes the free crown.
I think Donkey Kong totally had that plan. That was absolutely calculated.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, if he got the perfect read of his opponent's deck and recognized that there was no big rocket, no big lightning to deal with the three Muskies, I've seen players soak a tower and then go back for the three crown response, but rarely does it ever happen in single elixir time with the very first push that you put together. I mean, he pumps up, he's trying to get the elixir advantage. Donkey Kong sees a big attack coming in, and he just decided, I am not going to be able to defend this tower.
Let's take a look at that again.
Let's get more damage off of my opponent than he can get on me. I can't believe that Nem Sensei just soaked this entire hit, though.
Well, look what he hasn't revealed all his cards there. He has archers dropped. Why did he put just archers down? What was he thinking? He needed more. Baby Dragon comes out to try and soak more of the aggro. He's still got two cards he's sitting on that he hasn't got out
Three
yet.
Muskies back there with no target, just instantly lock the Baby Dragon, finish it off, and with plenty of tanks out in front to keep them nice and healthy out and back, the Musketeers just obliterate that tower. Donkey Kong, wow, man, you really impressed me there. A 4-0 standing on the leaderboard, decisively at the very top. Trid, what have you got for me, man? How can you bring me back to reality from that just insane game I just watched?
Okay, I might just trigger you instead. That might be an easy response. 4-0 beats Nem Sensei, beats Nem Sensei's record, goes top of the leaderboard, has Surgical Goblin next. He's gonna beat Surgical Goblin next.
You got me, man.
Yep.
There's nothing I can do. DK is going to have a back-to-back game here. I cannot wait to see who is going to edge out. Surge, who dropped his first game of the entire, phase.
To Baron.
To
Donkey
Baron,
Kong has
of all
beaten.
players.
The person who came closest to beating Surge.
Not that Baron's bad, but I mean...
Yeah, the person who came closest to beating Surge that wasn't Baron was Nem Sensei. And he just got 2-0'd by Donkey Kong.
Kicked to the curb, man.
So both the people who showed signs of beating Surge have been beaten by Donkey Kong. Gives me confidence we might see a DK 5-0 in week 2 of Europe. But to get some other people's thoughts, we're going over to the locker room.
Mon ami est magnifique. Donkey Kong is now at the top. He has worked so hard. He's beaten Baron and Nem Sensei, who are also pretty high up there. They're strong players. And now he's up against Surgical Goblin up next. But he's started so well in this tournament, and he must be looking scary right now. But I want to watch the top 5 plays with you all because there's been some crazy moments throughout today. My particular favorite is going to be number 1, so look forward to that one. So we've got this one to start us off. It's going to be Danny with his Three Musketeers split in match 4. Ooh.
Such a good split on the Musketeers from Danny.
Split damage, yeah.
Just amazing.
Just taking down both towers right there. Was that a punish from the Elixir Collector? Because that Elixir Collector looks pretty fresh. So he put those Three
think it
Musketeers
was a
down
punish.
soon after
Yeah.
the Elixir Collector. So that's very smart there from Danny. So this one is Suarez, the very close finish in match 7.
Yep.
So we
Both their
did
left
just see
towers
this.
are pretty low, but you see Royal takes down
Oh, the
with
reaction.
poison.
He's not happy
Got
with this
logged
one.
just 1 second late there, unfortunately, but that was I loved when they come down to the wire like that.
Yeah, so this is match 3, Donkey Kong's Golem at the River. Oh, this was crazy because that was the game where the Golem was placed at the back and then Giant at the river, and then
Yes.
suddenly when he put that Golem at the river, it was just undefendable.
Yeah, and you can see Baron wasn't liking that play at all.
And there's the chest beat
Yeah,
to show his
time
victory.
it kept going there. That would have
I
been
think that chest beat is where he's getting his power from. He's powering himself up after every match.
We
very
like
well
seeing
be.
that.
What's our number 2?
This is us reacting to the hypest match.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's kind of embarrassing. You almost tripped on me there.
I almost tripped on you, yeah.
Ash, you need to get some emotion in you, man.
I didn't know we were being recorded. I would have.
So this is the moment that we
man.
were reacting to right now for your
This is
viewing
it?
pleasure. So just
This
imagine
was
us.
such a hype game.
It was crazy
Oh,
how close this
goodness.
ended.
This is where Baron just kept punishing there in that left side. And
I could not stay seated. The adrenaline was just pumping. Like, Baron was defeating the undefeatable.
Yeah, and then you knew the lightning was coming, and there was nothing Surgical Goblin could do.
he couldn't even block it because of the HP
And
there.
immediate
Just perfect
respect,
on that
they
tower.
go in for the handshake.
Yeah.
Nice to each other.
That was really strong performance from Baron.
Yeah, that was
Amazing.
great. I mean, a lot of really close matches today. I've really been a fan of the gameplay and a few real memorable matches as well.
Oh, yeah.
I think Suarez had a top 5 moment there. Might have missed the roll and the B-roll.
Yeah, so
Ash will have a top 5 for Twitter later.
Surgical Goblin.
Number 1 was the chairs. Number 2 was Suarez.
Yeah. So what we did see there was we saw a lot of Surgical Goblin. We saw a lot of
Yes.
Donkey Kong. They've been part of a lot of incredibly hype moments today. They're
yeah.
also going to be a part of our 9th match today. So it's
Ooh,
going to
the
be Donkey
player
Kong
chosen
versus
match, or the
Surgical Goblin
voter.
versus Donkey Kong. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying.
Voted by the viewers at
Yes,
home on Twitter.
that's exactly
There you
what.
go.
Thank you, Gregan.
No problem.
Voters and players. Yeah, I'm looking here for Donkey Kong to continue on a roll. Are you kidding me?
I mean-
how can you pick against Donkey Kong at this point?
How can you?
He's going
You
ham.
saw Baron took down Surgical earlier, so Surgical might be a little rattled.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong might be able to get in there and get this 5-0, keeping his streak going up.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big match even for Surgical. Surgical doesn't want to go 2-2 here. I think that, if anybody can take down the Kong, it would be the Surgical Goblin, and I don't know.
He might get in there with his scalpel.
I see this one going 3.
Yeah?
For sure.
Okay.
And what would be interesting if Donkey Kong takes this, he's not only 5-0, but he's taken out the 3 other scary opposition. And then he's pretty plain sailing from there if he's played as well as he is right now.
He'll basically be uncontested even if he does take a loss.
So, final thought?
Yeah, coming in with no tournament experience. And look at this, taking down the guys who have been at tons of live events. Nem Sensei and now maybe Surgical Goblin. I'm sure all the people, fan favorite at home, I can only imagine DK coming in. And this is the beauty of these competitions, right? You can make a name for yourself, even being, somewhat unknown coming into
I mean,
the
he was
tournament.
only semi-known on ladder.
Yeah.
And it's such a good thing that his parents and his friends told him to come in.
We could
Because
talk all day about these
could.
2 incredible players, but I know everyone at home wants to watch Donkey Kong versus Surgical Goblin. So Trid, Woody, the final match of today. Let's see how it goes.
Well, what a match 9 we have in store for you. Can anyone stop Donkey Kong's unstoppable reign of terror to go to that 5-0 at the end of week 2? Or will it be Surgical Goblin being able to get himself 3-1 and tie himself for second? So, doesn't matter. DK's still going to be top at the end of this week.
He will indeed. Ash sees the beauty in this huge rise toward the top, but in Donkey Kong, all I see is the beast. 4-0, and even if he loses this match, he will still have the dominant position at the top. If he were even to go 4-1, he'd still have a +3 win differential. Surgical Goblin would go 3-1 if he gets the win here, but a loss against the top player actually might send Surgical Goblin reeling down toward the bottom. He might not even have an opportunity to get back in the top 2 if he drops the game today. Nem Sensei was not able to beat Donkey Kong. Surge beat Nem Sensei though. I think that this is going to be one of probably the best matches in the entire European region. 2 great players who have pretty much always been playing consistently, smart, creatively with their deck choices. They're both in the arena, standing tall, looking proud. I am so excited for this game. It was the perfect choice from the viewers. I can't have imagined a better matchup to conclude our day with.
I think if Baron had something like it was Baron versus Nem Sensei maybe for a winning match, I think that might have contended, because you got to remember, Baron took down Surgical Goblin today. That's pretty hype, right? And he's been doing pretty well in his matches. If he then goes on to face someone like Nem Sensei, maybe gets a victory over Nem Sensei, looking a little bit rough, and he could be contending himself with one of these players like DK at the top. So it's a pretty tough call. I did kind of want to see Baron last game, but I'm not going to lie to you. I voted Surgical Goblin, Donkey Kong.
I saw you vote on your phone.
I was like, I voted and I looked at the score and it was like 78% when I checked for like this matchup. We're giving you what you want, and that's Donkey Kong versus Surgical Goblin for our final match of week 2 of the Crown Championship Global Series Spring Season.
Surgical Goblin with the +1 win differential, only played 3 games so far. Donkey Kong with that 4-0. Can he keep up the momentum, or will Surge reclaim the throne, get back on top, and give Donkey Kong the business? Someone got to give Donkey Kong the business eventually.
What if Donkey Kong is the business?
Oh my god. Terrifying.
That
Yeah,
you
Bandit on the
can
left
give
for
him that.
Surgical Goblin to block for the Archer. Let's took a few shots from the Baby
Bandit
Dragon.
will get took back by the Tornado. Nice, because that was about to get the dash in.
A little expensive for my taste, but Surge is going to have to face down a Baby Dragon at the left side. Going to soak the damage, apparently. Healthy Night Witch on the right is going to make the counter push good for Surge. Will he push? Expecting to see something big from him. No, it looks like he's just going to kind of let that
Well,
fizzle.
Night Witch has got the
Baby
aggro.
Dragon out
Bat
back.
Spawn just a
Yeah.
fraction of a second too late.
Dang.
Ease goes down, so it's just Baby Dragon
DK
damage.
soaking a Baby Dragon? Lightning at it on top, giving that Baby Dragon another chance to hit. Lots of damage from the Lightning, also striking the pump. That's over 1,000 damage for Surge out the right side.
Yes.
Early damage lead. And he's playing a really heavy beatdown deck. Look at that Golem in the background. Are they actually playing, very similar
Very
decks?
similar
Not the exact
decks.
same. But yeah, Lightning Log and Bandit
Golem
for Surgical
versus Golem
Goblin.
on the right-hand side.
Yeah, well, it looks like Donkey Kong's got the Rocket, Tornado, and Goblins on his team.
Yeah, so he could have a little bit of advantage trying to deal with that. You can see Skeleton's Night Witch. Night Witch and Golem being the answer.
Okay.
Goblins come in as the answer.
Goblins
There's the log. We're
Great log
expecting
from
that.
Surge. Rolls it through, hitting all those ground troops, taking out the Goblins, most importantly. Night Witch and Skeletons and Bats in the back end, taking out that Golem that was threatening Surge, while the right side,
There
Donkey
we
Kong
go.
gonna take
Baby
some
Dragon
damage.
and the Tornado is buying
the
time for the
Golemites.
Golems.
It is indeed Night Witch and Baby Dragon on defense, though, for Surge, just getting so much value in there. I think that this right side push for Donkey Kong is about to fizzle. Let the tower take out the Bats
Yeah.
and finish off the Baby Dragon. Not too much to worry about. Surge.
Still on top.
Yeah, Surge
Still
still
on
on top. Donkey Kong and Surge both got a little bit of chip damage through those pushes, but Surge having the advantage already.
Oh no,
has
Donkey
gotta
Kong's
be happy
gone for
with
the
that.
pump while Surge has gone for the Golem right
I
off the
don't know
bat.
about that.
That's
Man,
a dangerous move.
This is the one push that will define the game.
Yes.
If Donkey Kong can play defense here and build the elixir advantage into another big counter push after this, Surge may not have enough elixir to counter back. But Surge coming in with archers way back in the back to try to defend against this push as it strikes right across the bridge. Surge is just not able to put
Rocket in the middle of the
enough there.
Tornado.
Oh no, Surge losing that right side push. The
No, you're talking about Donkey Kong losing the right side
well,
push.
I mean, Surge, his Golem Knights are just
Yeah.
about to reach the tower. It explodes now. The defensive troops, coming back in to fight each other at the bridge. Surge really needed to get the connection there, though, and he didn't get it. Donkey Kong now with the elixir advantage.
Bandit
Whoa, the
connects, though.
Bandit! I didn't even see her going in there. Did you notice that?
I noticed the Bandit, but I thought it
Dashes
would go
under
down.
the tower, a log and a lightning will finish the game.
Yes!
Surgical Goblin just got the win.
I saw the Bandit, but I assumed it would have been taken out by the Baby Dragon before it could dash out.
She was totally undercover, a secret agent. That mask over her eyes kept her hidden from view. I didn't even notice that she was there. Hiding underneath the Baby Dragon and with Night Witch cover, Surgical Goblin strikes at that right side, claiming the first game from Donkey Kong.
So Surgical with the secret agent Bandit takes the first victory here. There's still potentially 2 more games to go. This series is far from over.
Fantastic games. Surgical Goblin walked in today an undefeated player, 2-0 and a 4-0 game streak win. Donkey Kong walked into this match undefeated, and Surgical Goblin is now the one who gets to turn it around. The game-winning moment. Take a look at this Bandit hit at the right side tower. Look, can you see the Bandit? If you paused it right now, would you even be able to see the Bandit in that
So
mess?
much chaos going on, but you can see, there he is, level 1.
There
Dashes
she is,
forward.
gets the dash, just a tiny little bit of hit points left.
That's the only tell.
Oh
the
my
fact that the
God.
legendary card is level 1 is the only tell to work out what was in that.
Bandit just recently got a buff. I'd have to take another look at how many hit points of damage she sustained, but it's very possible that she would not have even made that dash. She might have died before
But
she
you're
could get
talking
that hit.
pre-buff.
Pre-buff, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Surgical Goblin knows the exact percentile points
With
of
surgical
value that he can get
precision.
with Oh, wow. No one's ever said that before, Trid. I can't believe you. How did you come up with that?
I'm just a god.
He is. Just like the surgical god.
Surgical Goblin.
Surgical Goblin. There he is. Takes the first win off of Donkey Kong. Trying to make a stab up toward the top now. You know else who has got to be pretty happy about Donkey Kong taking a loss here? Royal. another player at the top of the leaderboard. He is currently 3-1. If Donkey Kong drops and gets down to 4-1, there's a pretty decent chance that Royal could actually unseat him if he can just get a few more wins, you know, pull him away from Donkey Kong, try to drag him off the top. I feel like Donkey Kong's got a really good chance of getting top 2 unless he loses to Surge right now. If Donkey Kong gets the win, he's pretty much cemented in the top 2.
Yeah, he's cemented in preferential seeding if he wins this now, because he goes 5-0. Like,
But
what are you going to do?
To Surge's credit, you know, he's only dropped 1 game. He has a 2-1 run. He was playing fantastically the first day, and in the second day now, he's really shown us against his probably biggest opponent now in the arena that he can really come back, won't take, you know, no for an answer, not going to go on tilt with that loss. He is going out for blood now. Ice Spirit splashes on the right side tower as we start this game. Looks like P.E.K.K.A. Battle Ram for Donkey Kong and Graveyard Cycle for Surge.
Interesting combination of these items to go down. So, Ice Golem with an Archer. There's the Graveyard early on for Surgical Goblin to kick things off. And there's no answer so far. P.E.K.K.A.
No
single
answer.
target.
Skeleton Surround, nice sap in there from Donkey Kong, but he does take a lot of damage.
A
Over
lot of damage from
1,000
these
in
skeletons.
total. Damn, Midge on that left side coming in really hard. Donkey Kong at an early deficit. P.E.K.K.A. not having a favorable matchup at all against either Graveyard or the Tombstone. Nice log rolls in on the left side. Almost got it down to triple digits. Got to worry about this Battle Ram, but with Tornado, no, excuse me, not Tornado, a Tombstone, yeah, for Surgical Goblin to block. I think he's got this in the bag, man.
Yeah, it seems like there's a deck advantage coming out for Surgical Goblin. There's no immediate answer coming out. I mean, Dark Goblin can do quite well against Graveyard, but it needs something extra just to give it that extra punch. But Ice Golem starts bashing away on the tower, and Mega Minion will deal with the Golems. Archers have locked on, and Baby Dragon will clear those out and go on a little venture of his own, but it won't really be amounting to anything substantial for Donkey Kong here. And he sits on 700 HP on his left tower, and we're not even halfway through this match.
Absolute deck advantage for Surgical Goblin. That P.E.K.K.A. is just going to be a dead card in Donkey Kong's hand. There's no tank for it to kill. I mean, it can chop down the Ice Golem, but really, you want to do a 7-for-2 trade? I don't think that the counter push for Donkey Kong is going to be very threatening, especially with that defensive Tombstone setup, Skeletons as well. Surgical Goblin is just going to be able to finesse his opponent, and I expect him to continue to be able to push for this win. Just about to get to double elixir time. I'm almost certain we're going to see another Graveyard in the back. No, I guess Surge is going to play it safe. Good call there. Log and Poison should be enough to take this tower down. He's not even probably going to commit to a big attack off the left again.
Doesn't need to. You can reserve it in case something surprising comes out from Donkey Kong, but I think at this point, Surge has got this deck read. Doesn't really need to do anything too risky. Double Tombstone down there just to send more minions across the board.
That is a little concerning to me. That Battle Ram won't have any obstacles on its way toward that left side tower, but with Poison Chicken down, yeah, and Skeletons to add on top, I don't think that Surge has much to worry about with this push.
Another Tombstone as well, right in front of it.
Hold on, the Battle Ram at the outside! It does get the hit! It makes it through onto the tower! Infiltration! Log rolls through, it's going to be able to get a few of those off the tower, but still a lot of troops coming in. Hang on, Surgical Goblin in a lot of trouble now. Oh, Archer survived, though. That was really crucial. He's going to be able to keep this left side tower up, and there's no rocket in Donkey Kong's deck. Lightning hurts a lot, but it's not going to be enough to be able to get that left side down. I think that the cycle is definitely in Surgical Goblin's favor.
Yes, there you go, Graveyard.
Graveyard Poison.
Dark Goblin's too busy with the bridge.
Tower.
And the Poison's there as well. This is going to be Surgical Goblin's game. Log comes in to seal the deal. Surgical Goblin takes down Donkey Kong and ends his mad dash to the top. He's still going to be there, but it's not going to be the 5-0 we were hoping for.
No, it will not. A rampage to get to that top position. Donkey Kong really proved to us today that he can get the biggest win streak, get to the top, play against the best. But Surgical Goblin, once again, coming back up. He's got a 3-1 record now, a +2 differential. He hasn't quite played as many games as Donkey Kong has, but he is now tied for second place right alongside Royal.
Incredible scenes here. So it appears that Surgical Goblin is the gatekeeper of win streaks. You're getting on a win streak, Surgical Goblin's going to be there to end it for you. So fantastic. Not the ending I wanted, personally. I was so deeply invested into that Donkey Kong storyline. I wanted that 5-0, man. Just to be like, I'm fresh to this scene. I'm coming in here. Here's my 5-0. Come at me, bro, next week.
I am not going to be missing that win streak, though. I like to see really close matches, and I think that Donkey Kong's got a little fire underneath him now. He might get kicked out of the top 2 if he can't claim victory in his final 2 matches, but those are going to be next week. This was the last match for today. What a great series of games that we had. I cannot wait for the final week. But first, let's send it back to the locker room, see what their opinions on the match was.
Surgical Goblin versus Donkey Kong. You could see that respect at the end from Donkey Kong. Surge played very well.
Yeah, Surge was ready for him, and he just did. Surgical did what Surgical does, right? And he just came out. He kind of he made careful selections on his deck choices, and just came out on top. But a very memorable day for sure.
Yeah, that early graveyard damage. Whew.
Even this is the graveyard push that really, really helped out Surgical.
Yeah, it's very tough when you've got that P.E.K.K.A deck to deal with the graveyard, because normally you have that P.E.K.K.A in there to deal with a heavy tank, but graveyard is pretty absent of tanks. The only tanks it tends to have are things like the baby dragon, which P.E.K.K.A is completely irrelevant to.
Yeah, and P.E.K.K.A swings pretty slow, so those skeletons are spawning faster than she can swing.
Yeah. Good save.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and one thing to note there is he had used all his graveyard counters. Surgical Goblin, being the stud that he is, was aware and ready, right? So he saw that he used Goblin Gang, he used Baby Dragon, he had the P.E.K.K.A and Zap, and that's not a situation against graveyard that you want to be in, and that was, you know,
100% taking damage with a P.E.K.K.A and a Zap against the graveyard.
But even with that loss, Donkey Kong's still sitting in first place because of his 4 wins.
Yeah, he's still looking very strong, because he did. If we're talking about the top 4, so let's have a look at the leaderboard while we're talking about this. Anyway, so you got your top 4 in our mind. Actually, Royal is bumping himself in there. So the top 5 right now is that Nem Sensei, Baron, Surgical Goblin, Royal, Donkey Kong battle, and Donkey Kong has just had the better of a few of the other people so far. So he's looking very strong right there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, memorable moments, a ton of them today. But, you know, Adam picked up a big win. We had Surgical lost. That's surprising. We had DK with an impressive win of 2 impressive wins. 3 impressive wins?
Yeah.
And then 1 loss.
3,
I think so. Jeez, yeah. I mean, what a good day for Donkey Kong, really.
Such a good day.
Yeah. So it's anybody's game here. So.
It is anybody's game. I mean...
And I don't even think Suarez is necessarily out of it. He's not eliminated by any stretch. So
No, he's still got a few matches to go, and he can bring himself out.
He's done well with games. He's won a lot of games in all of the matches he's lost. But the big thing I've noticed this week is that Bandit has come through so strong. Just a small little buff.
She is
a hidden bandit, right?
She is taking over the arena.
It's unbelievable. And like Woody was saying earlier, I think that nerf was the difference, the deciding difference in that first match there. It was incredible. That Bandit there reaches the tower with a sliver of health, and she initiates into her dash faster now. So I think if either she didn't have the HP or that faster dash, I think she would not have made contact to that tower.
That sneak bandit from Surgical in that last match.
Yeah.
It was crazy because she is very, very heavy-handed when you don't deal with her.
And if she didn't reach that tower, Donkey Kong would have won for sure, because he had the pump down, he had the advantage against a mirror deck. He definitely would have won. Didn't see the bandit there, and that's you know, the way things pan out.
I
cannot wait to see how a week develops these guys' players in this new meta with the few changes that there were.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll see how that affects people's decks. But next week, it's going to be at 8 a.m. Pacific time once again, and 5 p.m. Eastern European time. So thank you from myself, Gregan, Mika, Ash. It's been a great show today. I've had a lot of fun with you guys.
I really enjoyed it. You guys
I had a good amount of fun with you.
You guys are easy to work with.
A good amount.
But I tell you who did have a lot of fun. Trid and Woody over in the cast booth had a great time.
Too much fun, I think.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to tell them.
We have to steal some of it.
But it's been good fun today, and I hope you've enjoyed it at home. So we'll see you next week for some more Clash Royale Crown Championship Global Series. See you later.